think it's working. They'll be able to hear us right away, so keep that in mind.
I wasn't done complaining about my coworkers yet, though.
You've just been doing it right to my face this entire time, Mike. What are you talking about? Okay, let me see your stupid funny tweet, whatever it is.
The stream started.
Yeah, it should start.
You have to go through a lot of tweets of me complaining about not being able to pre-order a video game machine for a while first.
Wow, you are Falco.
That's funny, yeah. I guess we should be thankful. Shit, I should be charging this.
Hey, everybody. We're getting started. I'm getting a few things lined up.
I'm a salty boy.
Mike's salty. He's still trying to pre-order the Steam Deck.
Me. I'm salty.
me. I'm a salty boy.
I'm a salty boy. Me.
I'm into that. I'm not into that corporate BS.
I'm into punk rock salty boys with Totinos.
Hi, everybody. I'm glad you guys are showing up. I need to tweet that we are going live.
Well, this is not AJ. They think his account's too new. I'm pretty sure he got Steam with Half-Life 2.
Wow. People are still getting the reservations like right now, Mike. So
yeah, I know. I'm still trying. But now it's because I've been purchasing a lot in the last few hours. So we'll see. Excuse me.
That was a delight.
I haven't been playing Skyward Sword, Pablo. We actually just got a code. The Nintendo chill, they'll still throw us scraps every now and then, but we only release day. But
Yep.
So it's still nice of them. So I'm not so unthankful. I actually have so many games I'm reviewing for Switch. I'm not gonna be able to play it for a bit. I want to at least start it so we can talk about it on Nintendogs on Tuesday. But
yeah, I'll play it. I'll start it tonight. I'm going to a baseball game. I'll play it on the train on the way there.
There you go. How long? Oh, the train. Fancy.
You guys getting paid to wear those Arby's hats because you should be. Brett, I mean, you make a good point.
Oh, those were a present of love, okay? To be clear, they did also send us gift cards with them, so...
True, yeah. I did buy my family lunch, so yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, they're unmarked, so in my mind, I was like, each of these probably has $100.
Oh, yeah, I had grand delusions of grandeur, absolutely. 2 lifetime supply cards of Arby's, wow.
I was way too optimistic about how much would be on there.
Oh, well.
All right, now I'm going to empty my cart. Put it back in my cart. Reserve now. This may have been the single biggest mistake, but we'll see. Still just in my cart like before.
Yeah. So we'll ask in chat, like, if you guys want to sound off if you got either the pre-orders, we'll definitely be talking about that. Yeah, everyone can rub it in. Me. Yep. And then let's see. So I have the rundown here in front of me. Sorry, everybody. We're getting started. I'm just like sort of distracted.
We're distracted from the pre-ordering. Did you find my funny tweet yet? Oh, you think no, not the Falco one. Is that what you thought it was? Oh my god!
It's a funny tweet. You did a good job.
That wasn't it. It's the Sonic one. Wow.
Okay, Sonic
I know that you're busy and running late, but stop what you're doing and go back and find my tweet so you could blast it to your many more followers than what I have.
Well, my Steam's telling me I've been attempting to.
Bad person.
I hate you.
I think he found it.
Wow.
There you go. There it is. There's
man, I dislike this, but it's very funny, but I dislike the entire idea.
Now I'm on my way. Sonic and Sega will be asking me to do their PR soon. I can finally be done
Sonic
with all of
boomers.
Sonic boomers.
I just retweeted if everyone wants to see it. I should just be like up there at the top of the feed. Man,
there we go.
Oof.
If you guys thought that was desperate and pathetic, me asking Jeff to retweet something, you are correct.
Okay. I'm gonna run down here.
Chris is here. I kind of stole that joke from him during our lunch today.
Oh,
hey,
very good.
Christopher Minotti, my younger brother's birthday. Wish him a happy birthday in chat.
Oh, happy birthday, Chris.
Yes,
you know what? We can bring
birthday.
up. We can bring up us. We can bring up. Let's see here. Live. Next one. Next one.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take.
And now you know his birthday. Here's his address and his social security number, so you can all see.
Hey, Christian.
Because I was about to be like, Chris, we're starting soon. Get out of here.
I'm moving you up, Mike. All right. Are you sitting up straight? Is that how you're gonna sit up?
No, I'm slouching.
All right, looking good now. All right, that's good.
I'm slouching like crazy.
Okay. I'm good, I think. I'm good. You know what, Mike? Can you check the podcast or no, the GamesBeat Decides channel in Discord and see if anyone added any news stories that we should add to this rundown? But I think we're probably pretty good otherwise.
But what do you want me to check? Like podcast producers, you mean?
No,
or?
no, the GamesBeat Decides channel. There's one of the, yeah. Ask for news stories in there because I want everybody to help.
Going live soon. Persona anniversary speculation. We talked about that a little bit on. I don't know if we can say something there. There's a Crossfire X dev update. I don't even know if I care. Jim Ryan, gamers only remember best games. Netflix, we got that. I think we're okay.
Okay, Mike, I'm ready. I'm ready. You ready?
Excuse me.
So I'm gonna take that as a yes.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right.
I'm watching all these likes come in for my hilarious Sonic tweet.
Hey, Pong, thanks for showing up, man. Appreciate it. Okay, what do I need to do? I need to hit the record button, then I need to hit this. Where's the OBS? Let me take a look here, make sure that this is good.
Is that working?
That's working.
Did you start Suckdy?
You can hear it, right?
Yeah, did you get Suckdy going?
Did I get Suckdy? What are you saying?
Yeah, did you get Suckdy?
What? No, what? What is Suckdy?
Suck these nuts! So I could do it.
God damn it. Oh, I'm bringing Disco back.
Let's go! We got him!
Let me move it around. Let me fix this. Hang on. Let me move it around. It's the camera.
Who needs a Steam Deck when you can entertain yourself like I can?
I'm trying to move it. Hang on.
Well, yeah. This has to be mirrored.
Yeah.
This has to be mirrored. Hey, your kid's here.
I can't move it. I have to move every single thing.
Tell your kid that your family name has been ruined now, tarnished forever. I was trying so hard not to laugh. Oh, that was the hardest thing I've ever done.
All right. I'm gonna get my headphones.
There it is. Yes, we did it. We did it. Podcast canceled forever.
Hang on. Well, okay, go upstairs and tell Mama about it. Go tell Mama.
Just not in the mood for this right now, kiddo.
All right then.
I guess payment just went through, man.
That was awful.
See, my thing is now it's like, oh, you've been attempting a lot. I'm gonna let it go for like 5 minutes. I don't even know if that's very long. 5 minutes. We'll get back to it. I need the Steam Deck. I feel like I deserve yours now after that burn. Like, I think you should just forward it to me.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see.
I'm not even going to pay you for it.
The United States Postal Service was just like, we're going to take this to Mike instead. We saw what happened to you, Jeff. God damn it. Oh. Okay.
Wow. Okay.
Let's start this show. You ready, Mike?
I'm very ready.
Okay. I'm going to do the countdown. I'm going to hit the button. And then I'm going to talk. Okay. 5, 4, 3. Oh. No,
What?
hang on.
But it's working now?
No, this music's working, but OBS gave me an error and said there was an issue starting a recording. I'm placing another software using in-vein system.
The whole internet's broken because of Steam Deck.
Yeah. Hang on. Let me close. I got Windows G. Is it really recording something there? That's weird. It's never happened before.
Has Grubbsnack's been recording this entire time still?
Yeah, right. Okay, Shadow Play. Let me try Shadow Play. Hang on. Let's see. Oh yeah, instant replay is on. Okay, let's turn that off. There it goes. Okay. All right, Mike, you ready?
Yes, I am ready.
All right. 5, 4, 3. It's the internet. You're busy. Let's do this. Welcome to the GamesBeat Decides podcast. This is the podcast where we decide everything that happens in the world of video games so you never, ever have to think for yourself. I'm your host, Jeff Grubb. With me is
Mike Minotti, and I'm still trying to buy a Steam Deck. We'll see how it goes.
And he's not going to get it because he's a mean bully. And if you want the reference on that, you'll have to watch the YouTube version.
Destroy Jeff.
I'll put it at the end of this episode, maybe after the credits or whatever. After the final thing.
Sounds like you were more like a Minotti snack for me today.
Oh, gross. That's yeah. Mike Minotti devoured me whole, and now I am.
That's true. Now you're my poop.
Yeah, now I'm a piece of shit.
There you go.
All right, today's episode, news and games, but let's talk about it, Mike. Any luck in the last couple of minutes getting a Steam Deck?
No. You know what? The real pro move would have been to put the funds into my Steam wallet before all this, so that it didn't have to like go through PayPal or like a credit card layer on top of everything else. That's where I really messed up, I think.
Yeah, but, I remembered in the minutes before it went live to go add a payment method because I have a Steam Press account, so I haven't paid for anything in a long time. So all the stuff that was connected to there was old credit cards and stuff. So I'm like, wait, I need to do that. So I added a credit card right beforehand, and it was I was lucky. I remember that it was like 10:57 Mountain Time, and then it went live at 11. I did have some issues, but it went through. You know, I got some of the errors. I didn't get it right away, but a few minutes later I was able to get it. Seems like people are still able to reserve it. Do you think there's a chance that Steam is over pre-ordering stuff and might not be able to like meet the demand?
I am wondering about that now, or because it still seems like enough of them went through. I mean, I always try not to get too upset about these things because it is frustrating because you do your best, but there are only so many of them. We know not everyone is going to get one, and there's always like something annoying, like like this time it's that thing where it's like, because I tried too many times, like, whoa, you've been trying to do a lot of purchases lately. It's like, well, yes, because it's not working. Right. So it's frustrating, but I feel like I'm not being salty like people thought I was going to be. My mood improved after I destroyed you in the pre-show. Yeah, but,
I'm glad I could help.
Right, but we'll see what happens here. Not everyone's going to get one.
Yeah, I think we'll see. We'll talk to Valve about getting some review units maybe beforehand.
There's people in chat right now saying that they're like just got there. So
yeah, but people have been still been tweeting like up like we're it's almost 45 minutes past the hour like when this started. People are still getting them. So the difference is there's a couple things happening here. You can definitely only do one purchase per Steam account, which I think slows things down and kind of helps with the bots a little bit. Also, this is not for sale through anywhere except for Steam, right? I don't think it's not on Amazon. It's not at like Walmart or something like that. So it's one retailer that has all of the units. So I bet they probably do have a little bit more than what it feels like they should compared to like, you put up a Nintendo Switch OLED, and we'll talk about that in a second, on Amazon, and it sells out in seconds almost, it seems like. So, but still, 45 minutes, I did not expect people to still be able to make purchases 45 minutes later. So hopefully Valve will be able to like meet the demand and deliver all these right away. Yeah,
it is funny. Right when like it was 1 p.m. over here, like Steam was just down for like 20 seconds, and that was an interesting moment.
Yep. Yes, it was it's
a good sign.
It was hectic. Yeah, but I was able to get mine. I got my 512 gigabyte model. I think that's right. And then yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready for that thing. But they're shipping in December, so a long time between now and then. But I got my $5 down. So yeah.
You'll have your Switch OLED to keep you warm until then.
Yes, exactly. I actually have 2 of those on pre-order. I figure I might cancel one, or maybe do a giveaway. No promises, everybody. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right, so we're going to get into the news here in a second. First of all, I want to thank everybody for joining us. You get more from Mike and me at GamesBeat.com. If you have something to share with us, email the podcast at gamespluspodcast@venturebeat.com. or reach out on Twitter. We are at GamesBeat. Thank you to Carlos Ayin, who is Insane in the Rain Music on YouTube, for the use of our theme songs. If you are listening to this on the website player widget, you could subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and more. Please rate us there. It helps people find the show. If you are watching on YouTube, you could also subscribe to those versions. But right now, while watching, give us that thumbs up, hit that like button. It helps a lot for people to find the show while we're live. And then once we go into the VOD, it helps kind of continue that momentum. Join the Discord. The link is in the description. We still have that vanity URL of discord.gg/GameMess because we still were able to get enough boost to be able to earn that. So that is back and
they can
working.
take that away from us.
Well, if we get the partner status, they won't take it away. I guess they might take partner status away if we like stop being as busy. But we've, E3 is over and the Discord continues to be super busy. There's a lot of engagement, a lot of people joining it still. So I don't think we like once we earn partner status, which we meet all the requirements except for someone in Discord saying yes. They said no the last time we asked, but I think. The momentum we've maintained, I think the next time we ask in like a couple of months, they'll probably say yes then, and then we'll just have it, and I'll get a cool hoodie. So that's what I really want.
Oh, you get a cool hoodie. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, it is your Discord, so that makes sense.
I think I will rename it the Game Mess Network Discord, though. I think that might be the best name for that stuff going forward.
I'll get to stop clicking on just a picture of your face.
Well, no, I don't even choose those pictures. That's Christian setting that stuff up.
Christian, I'm tired of Jeff's ugly, gross, pathetic, greasy, pasty, a bad face.
Damn it! Ouch!
I'm trying to think of something good to end on, but yeah, bad. It's just bad.
It's just bad. Bad face. You got bad face.
You
join
got
the
bad
Discord.
face.
Join the Discord. Also, if you want to get into the secret channels inside the Discord, you could do so by going to patreon.com/JeffGrubb. I also, if you like, you can go to twitch.tv/JeffGrubb and like support me there. If you have like an Amazon Prime thing, that will also get you into the secret channels inside the Discord. But I haven't been streaming a lot right now, so I'm like hesitant to tell people to go do that. But I'll try to stream some more, especially in this upcoming week. I'm gonna stream Other M. I've decided. I've said that on Nintendo.
Yes,
I think
that's gonna be
that's
fun.
the plan.
Yeah.
So
there we go. There's a classic.
Yep. All right.
I think you're gonna agree with me. I think you're gonna find that it's not as bad as people make it out to be.
I think you might be right. I'm gonna give it a real fair shake, so I'm looking forward to that. And I guess then finally, before we get into the news, if you want to ask a question, you could do so by joining that Patreon, and there's a podcast producers channel inside the Discord. Or if you're watching live here on YouTube, and that's youtube.com/JeffreyGrubb/live, you can send a super chat, and we will get to all of them before the end of the show, mostly after the news. But Mike reads those live every week, so yeah, look out for that.
True.
All right, Mike, news.
Yo.
I don't know what I expected you to say there. I guess I could have just gone into the news, but
I'm so clicking on things. Like, yeah, what do you want to say? You didn't know the news. You put it together.
Let's start here with the. You know what? Let's start with the Switch OLED pre-orders. Let's just get that out of the way. So, were you able to get a Switch OLED? Did you even want one?
No, I didn't even try. Really, I'm not like mad about the OLED, but it's not something that I'm going to want to spend $350 on. I think just for really a nicer screen. I don't think that's enough for me. Now there's still that push to get something new and shiny that still like makes me feel like maybe I should get one. I don't know, but I feel like I don't really want to. I don't need it, especially if I'm fingers crossed if I can get a Steam Deck, and if like I believe there is going to just be a Switch Pro next year. Yeah. Even if this thing had cost $300, I think it might have been a little bit easier for me to swallow. But there is something about that.
They're raising the price. They are
raising the price.
This is a price hike. 100%. That's what this is all about. I think is they found a way to raise the price without really doing a lot to the hardware. And and they're gonna get away with it again because they're Nintendo. I guess if you're not gonna buy one, they're not getting away with it fully. But it seems like they're selling out. So
and I guess I'm not surprised, but yeah, this thing is still selling really fast. I am a little surprised, I guess. I thought there would be a few more people like me, and maybe I'm based off of what Twitter, that some people are getting it. I thought that more people would be hesitant to just get a screen upgrade, but I think
Yeah.
so many people are ready to upgrade no matter
Yep.
what it is that they're just going to get it.
I think that's right. I think, I did a poll on this, and I'm not going to bring it up, the exact numbers, but it was like 25%, I think, were saying, hey, I'm going to buy this thing, and I already have a Switch, or something like that. It was a significant portion of the audience. And it's like, even if it's like 10% of current Switch owners, that's what, 8 million people, 9 million people. Like, that's huge. And then there's all the people who haven't bought a Switch yet who might buy this thing instead. So, the thing's going to sell very well. Real quick in chat, I wanted to point out that there were 3 back-to-back messages about Other M. And the first one is from Cybergunk, Other M is a mixed bag. Then RG Viper X says, Other M was bad. And then Kieran Buckley says, Other M is a good game. So we have the entire spectrum represented right there.
That's what's magical about Other M, right?
Yeah, I think you're right, yeah. You brought this up when I was doing Grubb Snacks this week in chat when you asked the question, do we think that the Steam Deck puts more pressure on Nintendo to do a Pro sooner rather than later? What is your opinion on that? Because I gave mine. I'll talk about it after yours, but what do you think?
I mean, in a way, no, because I think that a Switch Pro is always happening next year anyway. But if for some reason maybe they're looking at the OLED performance, all this stuff, and they're thinking maybe we don't need to do that, this might at least kind of keep the train rolling on that. It's got to be a little something, especially. And again, this is circumstantial evidence based on people pre-ordering it. It seems like it's going to do well. We'll talk about the Steam Deck later. But I think that I am very glad that Nintendo has something that is closer to more direct competition. And we knew these devices were coming. In a way, they already had been coming. Just a matter of who was going to make like the really big one over here in the US. We always thought it was going to be Valve, and here it is.
Let's talk about both the Steam Deck and the Switch OLED pre-orders right now, because I kind of like talk about them maybe like they're not facing off head to head. I think Matt Piscatella made a good point that these are going to appeal to 2 different markets and they are for different groups. But I mean, I do think that there is some, like, I think Nintendo will kind of look over this and be like, that is interesting. That price is way more aggressive than we think. And I mean, I'll just kind of say this is what I've heard from a few places now, that Valve was more aggressive on this pricing than I think they were even expected to be themselves. A couple of weeks ago when they were talking to some people about this thing, they were briefing some people about it, they were saying that the price was going to start at $500. That was the price going around. So now the thing is available for pre-order starting at $400. Clearly they were like, hey, I think we need to be even more aggressive with this pricing. That seems like, I don't know. It seems like they think that this thing can do really well and face off against something like the Switch and succeed. I
think they learned with Steam machines that they have to come out really strong, right? Yeah. There's no kind of second impression here. If this thing doesn't have a good first wave, it's a little bit dead in the water. So just getting it out there so that people start walking around with them, people start seeing them in the public, right? That was such a big thing with the Switch, right? That first year, everybody saw people with Switches, and everybody was like, I want one of those. And there could be a similar thing here. I think that I understand what Matt's saying, but I think that there's a large portion of Nintendo fans that are pretty tech savvy now and who are going to start feeling a little bad when they look at the specs of a Steam Deck and they say, for $50 more, that sure does look a lot more impressive than what I can do on my Switch. And of course, that's not the whole story, because Switch has, Nintendo games, and now it's going to have the OLED screen that the Steam Deck doesn't have. But the Steam Deck can also have SSD if you pay more for it, all that stuff. So right, I do think there are maybe not an incredibly significant, but a not unsignificant amount of people who might not get a Switch, but might say, maybe I don't need to upgrade to a Switch Pro or an OLED or whatever because I want to get a Steam Deck instead. Right. And,
I think real quick, like, we have talked a lot about the Steam Deck so far, but we haven't said exactly what it is. And if you are getting your news from this podcast, we'll give it to you real quick. It is the new handheld from Valve. It is a little bit bigger than a Switch, but it has real PC internals from AMD. It uses basically a really good Ryzen Zen 2 chip for its CPU, and then its GPU, which is on the same system on a chip, but its GPU is an RDNA 2 GPU, which is the same type of GPU that is in the Xbox Series X, Series S, and PlayStation 5. It's definitely cut down and smaller, but it has 8 compute units for its GPU, and the Xbox Series S has 20. But the clock speed of those compute units is much higher than it is with the Xbox Series S. So the final performance should be something around like the levels of a launch PS4, basically. And this is going to be for a device that you can hold in your hands with a 7-inch screen that's running at 1200 by 800, so 800p, really good for a 7-inch screen. It seems like kind of an ideal PC gaming handheld, and this is a space that is going to get bigger and bigger because of these like AMD style chips that are very power efficient, and this was sort of inevitable. The thing I didn't think was inevitable was Valve coming out and pricing this thing so aggressive to the point where it's like this thing is comparable to a Switch. You could say one or the other. Obviously, yes, the Nintendo games are going to make a big difference. The Nintendo audience, the people going out buying it for Animal Crossing right now is a different audience. But the point I would make, and to counter that, is okay, yeah, sure, but there's an audience that just wants like a way to play Madden, and Madden's on PC now, and you could like play real Madden on the Steam Deck, and it's not even on in any form on the Switch. EA's just not releasing it there. And then there's like a list of other kinds of games that have like big appeal to certain audiences, like Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft, not on the Switch, but they are on the Steam Deck.
I don't know if World of Warcraft would ever work on the Steam Deck, but
why not? Oh, because of the inputs.
There's never been a console version of World of Warcraft. Final Fantasy 14 has controller support. World of Warcraft never did.
Okay, I mean,
you stupid idiot.
Yeah, fair enough. But I mean, the point is that you could dock it and then plug in a keyboard and mouse if you wanted to have that option.
There are mods and stuff for World of Warcraft. I don't know what modding is. So yeah, maybe in some way. I don't think anyone's going to do any hardcore rating, but maybe they can play WoW in some way. Final Fantasy 14 though is more popular now, anyways, right? So who cares about WoW?
Yeah, right. So, WoW's dead.
WoW's dead. We said it.
But yeah, the point is like there are a lot of games on PC that aren't available on the Switch, and sometimes if they do come to the Switch, it takes years to get there. And this thing is probably going to run them much better, even if they do share a certain library of games. I think this thing has the potential to appeal to a different audience that might be not as big, not as rabid as the people who are picking up Switches, but it could convince a certain audience to come in and buy this thing and not a Switch, specifically because of the games available. So I don't know. I'm excited about it. I think it's going to fit with the way I want to play games. I will play a ton of indie games and early access games on this thing. And then if I like, it plays Jedi Fallen Order. They already showed that running. It looked good. I'm like, I'm in it for that alone. So yeah.
I have been wanting something like this basically so I can play a lot of JRPGs that aren't on the Switch, like Tales of Berseria, which I got on the Steam sale, and I'm really glad I did now. Like, now I can just play that on here. Some of the Trails games that haven't come to Switch yet, a bunch of stuff like that. And then the other thing I keep thinking about is actually the Dolphin emulator, and how this thing is probably going to be the best platform ever for Super Mario Galaxy 2 because it has like the gyro controls and like the touchscreen. And it's like, wow. That right there is exciting. Yeah, so it's interesting because I don't think I'm not going to use this thing to play like Doom Eternal or Witcher 3 or like these AAA games, but there's just like all these kind of weird Steam games almost, like stuff like those JRPGs or even like strategies like Anno. Like I want to play the Anno series on here. Maybe I'll give Crusader Kings 3 another shot on this thing. Right, weird stuff like that actually has me kind of excited.
And the reason that many of these PC games could work is because this thing has those touchpads that were on the Steam controller. So you'll have a good way of like doing mouse inputs and stuff. It has analog sticks, it has buttons, it has triggers, but then it also has 2 touchpads on each side of it. I guess we'll have to hold it ourselves to understand it. But looking at it, are you worried about the ergonomics? Are you worried about the way it looks?
I'll tell you what. I'm not that much. Like I get it. It's a little weird. Some people are like freaking out. Yes. And they think like that is like what's going to kill it right there. I don't know though. Like I feel like I have a superpower when it comes to controllers, in that I'm mostly fine with just about everything. Like I like when I see people who are like, I can't even play on a PlayStation 5 controller. I can only do an Xbox. That stuff has always been really weird for me. Like, you know, the analog sticks are here. It's not like you ever need to use an analog stick in the D-pad at the same time. So it doesn't really matter that much, like positionally where they are next to each other. And I'll have to hold it to see if it's really uncomfortable to reach any of those. But I assume that they would have been pretty conscious of that, and it's probably fine. And like the worry is just that they are in bad locations because they had to get the touchpads on there. But I think it's going to be fine.
I agree with you. I think looking at it compared to a Switch, it doesn't look that different. excuse me, this also isn't Valve's first time designing controllers. Yeah, there's the Steam controller, but they've also designed controllers for VR now, and those VR controllers are very good.
Those are actually very great controllers. And I love how on the page they made a big point of being like, look at how nice our analog sticks are.
Yes.
Oh, I bet these things would never drift.
Yes, 100%. I think they did that. Yes, like they show that the mechanics working, and I bet that it does seem like they're suggesting that they're using premium quality products as opposed to the other companies. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about this thing. I think it's going to fit in with how I want to play games. You're absolutely right. Like, I will probably install Windows 11 on it, and then I will probably install a bunch of emulators on it. It's like open hardware, and like that alone is very exciting. But just to reiterate one more time, that the pricing for this thing, it is really unbelievable. And I think if people hear that, they're like, well, the Switch OLED is $350, but that is less money than all of these versions of the Steam Deck. But if you compare the Steam Deck to other similar handheld gaming PCs that have come out in the last year, because the hardware is getting to that point, it is an incredible deal. It is hard to fathom how good of a deal this is, because this thing has better hardware than something like a GBD Win 3, which is like one of the better known companies in this space, or the Aya Neo, which is a more recent one that uses a similar AMD hardware, but it uses like 2-generation old GPU. It uses a Vega 8 or something, or Vega 20 or something like that, as opposed to RDNA 2. And yet those devices cost $900, $1,000, like $1,100. And I've been considering getting one for a long time. I've been like looking at these things and being like, man, I kind of want to get them. They're finally getting to a place where it looks like they can run most games at like 30 frames per second. Maybe you have to drop it down to 540p. That'll be fine. I'll do that. And then Valve comes out with this thing, and it starts at $400. Even the top line with the 512 gigabyte NVMe SSD is $650 or whatever I just paid for it, or whatever I am going to pay for it. That is still so much lower than the competition in this space. It's hard to say anything other than Valve thinks like they can make a huge dent in this market right away, and maybe sort of own it going forward. So this is not going to be a repeat of the Steam machines. It might not take over the world. It might fizzle, but it's not going to be Steam machines. And I do expect this to also do better than Steam VR, which was doing okay.
I think it's going to be a hit. I understand people are going to be skeptical, and they should be. I'm surprised some people are as skeptical as they are. The big problem with Steam machines was just no one understood what it was, right? It was confusing. This is immediately knowable. You understand what this is right away. It's a Switch, but with PC games. And there's your sales pitch right there. And I think that's going to resonate with a lot of people.
Yeah. And I think we'll see like what the support's like, see how Valve sort of positions it in terms of like putting games out and saying, hey, we're going to optimize all our games for this thing. Maybe we'll find a way to encourage other developers to do the same thing. But I think a lot of it's going to come down to them making this SteamOS, this portable version of SteamOS, like a really good experience. So even if another hardware company does come in and steals Valve's thunder, you'll still want to put SteamOS on there in most cases, for most people, or those companies will want to just use SteamOS because it just works so well. I think there's a lot to that as well.
We know that these kind of machines are going to be a part of the future of gaming. They make too much sense, and the Switch was too big of a hit. So it is just interesting to kind of see like the next real like big one.
Yep, I agree. Okay, let's so we talked about the Switch OLED, we talked about the Steam Deck. Let's talk about NPD numbers for June. The NPD report came out this morning. I have some numbers here, and some real quick context. This is for June 2021. We'll be doing some comparisons to June 2020, and if you remember, June 2020 was full on stay-at-home orders, pandemic, and people were rushing out to buy a lot of video games, a lot of software. And that was the story last year is, man, spending on games is up huge. No movies are coming out. No one's going to bars. No one's going to concerts. They are spending all of that discretionary income on games. And so we get to June 2021, and these numbers are for the United States because it's NPD, and people are beginning to expect the numbers to decline and come back down to earth because, people are going outside, people are vaccinated, people are returning to the movies, people are going out to eat. So are those people that came into gaming in the last year because of the pandemic, are they going to say, well, that was fun while it lasted, but I'm going to go back to the old things that I like spending my money on? And looking at these numbers, it seems like no, the industry is maintaining its momentum, and that starts with total video game sales in the United States up 5% year over year. A lot of that's due to hardware sales, but up 5% year over year to $4.9 billion. For when it comes to video game content, and this is like NPD tracks physical and digital full game sales and DLC and microtransactions and cloud, console, mobile, everything. That makes up the majority of the number, but that was up 1% to $4.32 million, or $4.32 billion, as opposed to $4.29 billion last year. And so that right there, it's like, okay, it's only up 1%, but again, the expectation was that the people spending money on games last year that were new and like just buying consoles, they were going to leave and not keep spending. And it seems like that's not the case. But obviously the big one this month was hardware. Hardware sales up massively, 112%. So that's $401 million as opposed to $189 million.
That's because of the new consoles still, right?
Absolutely. And it's not just new consoles. It seems like specifically Xbox had a huge influx. They were able to get a ton of systems into the marketplace in June, and Xbox actually outsold all the other systems in terms of dollar sales, and then the Switch was top in terms of unit sales. So that's happened before between the PlayStation and the Switch. But now this month, as Microsoft was able to meet some of that demand, and if you remember that week after E3 at GameStop, they were like, we're going to have a ton of Xboxes, and they had Xboxes like throughout that day, and it seems like that made a huge difference, and they were able to come out on top that month. I think, so you say the Xbox and the Switch outsold the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5 still selling every single unit that goes on the market. Obviously, it's just supply constraint issues. We won't be able to see like how these things like really sell until we get to like years later, and they aren't selling every single unit that they put on the market. And then video game accessories down 1%, but just barely. That's at 207 million as opposed to 209 million. That's basically flat, just like the software sales. And that says people are still accessories more than anything else. To me, they suggest that people are investing in the future of playing games. Like you buy a headset or you buy a new controller because you're like, yeah, I'm playing games now, but I'm making this investment because I think I'm going to keep playing games through the rest of this year and on. So I'm going to buy a controller right now to make sure that this game's going to feel better, but then the next game's going to feel better as well. So people still making that many purchases.
There about like racing wheels specifically selling well. I like to imagine that was just all people watching the Forza Horizon trailer and getting excited. But
yeah, I think you might be right. There's like definitely something to that, and there's like a lot of like racing games on Game Pass right now, so you can enjoy that stuff and then kind of take it forward. And then F1 2021 was coming out at the same time, so I think that might have helped as well. Real quick from Matt Piscatella, here's how he breaks it down. Let's see he says June 2021 consumer spending across video game hardware, content, and accessories grew 5%, and he says that's for a total of 4.9 billion. But he says for the year as a whole, the first half of 2021 consumer spending reached 28.9 billion, and that's a 15% increase when compared to the same period in 2020. So through the first 6 months, you got to keep in mind the pandemic didn't start till around March in terms of the stay-at-home orders in the United States. So some of that comparison is going to be like apples to oranges, but up 15% year over year so far through the first 6 months. Let's get to the software charts. What game do you think was number one, Mike?
Oh, I mean, I have seen it, but I can pretend to guess and say Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, Rift Apart was number one, unsurprisingly to me, a really standout game that had a lot of excitement, a lot of build up, but it wasn't just like, oh, it's number one on like a weak month. It was a strong month, and Ratchet and Clank came out with a really strong start. In fact, it set a franchise record. So here's Matt Piscatella again. He said it achieved the highest launch month dollar sales of any title in franchise history. Launch month dollar sales of Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart more than doubled those of the previous high set by Ratchet & Clank in April 2016. Another new game that came out this month, Mario Golf Super Rush, was number 3 after Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. And that also set a franchise record. Piscatella says, Mario Golf Super Rush launched as the 3rd best-selling title of June 2021. Launch month dollar sales of Mario Golf Super Rush were the highest ever achieved by a Mario Golf game. The previous high was set by Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, which launched for the Nintendo GameCube in July 2003. So
that's interesting that the GameCube one was the last bit. So you would have thought the Wii, was there one for the Wii, or like
I think
the
there
DS
was, but
one
the
even?
3DS one was like
3DS,
really well
right.
reviewed, and it was like late in the cycle. So I agree, weird, but this seems like the Switch effect is helping this franchise have its best sales ever. It's basically so.
Didn't they read all the middling reviews?
I know, apparently not, but it doesn't. Like I think that's the thing. It's like they are appealing to that Mario Party audience, and it's working out really well for them.
But hopefully, so if this is a hit, we've been talking about this. Maybe they are going to finally look at Mario Strikers and be like, "Why are we not making another one of those?"
Right, a GameCube sports game, like that would do better than ever. Yep. I think that's a very good point.
Why the heck not? Can we talk about Ratchet a little bit more?
Please. What are your thoughts?
I think the interesting thing there is the whole this is only on PlayStation 5 factor, right? There's not a PlayStation 4 version, and it doesn't seem to have bothered it at all. And I know I kind of harp on that point, so maybe I'm a little biased here in seeing the data that way, but I wonder if anyone's looking at this and thinking, why are we so obsessed about these PlayStation 4 versions? Again, is it really that important? What do you think?
I mean, I'm right there with you, and I've been like you've convinced me of this, like with Miles Morales, and we see that with Miles Morales back in the top 10 once again at number 9.
Still in the top 10 this month. Like it's like Nintendo level in terms of consistency.
So it dropped out of the top 10 last month to number 12. So it bounces right back up. What's happening is people go out and buy PS5s. They're getting Ratchet and Clank, but they're also still getting Miles Morales. This is the thing you said what happened. It's continuing to happen, and it's because they're buying the PS5 version is my hunch there. And I think the Ratchet and Clank sales sort of bear that out. It suggests that's what's happening here. I don't know why Sony has been so insistent on like saying, and now we're thinking even more games like Gran Turismo. The next Gran Turismo is going to be a PS4
Gran Turismo was
game.
such a line for me. Like, really, that one? That I've gone on about that, but that seems bizarre to me.
It's so impossible for me to imagine the person that's going to be like, I wasn't going to buy Gran Turismo because I don't have a PS5, but now it's on the PS4. I'm going to play this lower fidelity version of it. It just does not track with me. And if those people, once they get a PS5, if they really want Gran Turismo, they would just buy it then, I would think. But yeah, I'm convinced. I don't necessarily understand.
Well, I am very smart.
I don't know what Sony's thinking is there. I guess I get they're worried about supply constraints, but it just does not seem to be hurting any of these games. Let's see. A couple games did bounce back into the top 20 after falling off for different reasons. Sea of Thieves went from 36 to 20 because of that new Disney content, the Pirates of the Caribbean content that was in there that got announced at E3. And then what was the other one that bounced back up? Yes, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1+2 was at 51 last month. The Switch version came out. It bounced back and was number 17. You can find the full chart on GamesBeat.com. The other new game that hit the chart was Scarlet Nexus, launched at number 5.
That seems like a pretty good debut for that game.
So it's above the Mario Kart 8 line. You remember the Grand Theft Auto 5 line? Well, they stopped giving us Grand Theft Auto numbers because they don't hand over the digital numbers to the NPD anymore. So now Mario Kart 8 is the new one. Mario Kart 8 has been at the number 7 for the last 2 months. And Scarlet Nexus beat that. And that's only physical numbers for Mario Kart 8. But still, if you're above Mario Kart 8 as a new game, I think that's a pretty good sign that you had a pretty decent debut. And Scarlet Nexus, not just number 5, but it was number 6 on both the PlayStation chart and the Xbox chart. So again, I just think that it's like, that's going to be, there's way more PlayStations than Xboxes overall. But I think that's still like a good sign that like, there is a wide audience for all kinds of different games on all platforms, and anime games aren't just doing good on PlayStation. They can also sell on Xbox. So I think that's a good sign for this sort of
It's almost like they should
content.
maybe get some Persona games on Xbox soon or something.
You're an insane person. But yeah,
why would you ever do that?
Yeah, and like I said, the rest of the chart is on GamesBeat.com. I guess, Mike, any thoughts about the hardware sales? It's kind of like in line with what we expected with it being a launch of a bunch of new Xboxes.
Yeah, Switch is still doing well, and Xbox and Sony are selling as many new consoles as they can make. Yep. And Microsoft got to make more of them, which is a big one for them.
Yep. I guess last thing, Nintendo has 7 games in the top 20, so still just dominating in terms of software.
What's the worst game? What's their worst game that they have in the top 20?
That's probably that. Well, hang on, let me see.
Sword and Shield is still in there. Even
yeah,
3D World
Sword and Shield's 19. Yeah, Breath of the Wild is 18. Breath of the Wild still in the top 20 is impressive for a Zelda game.
It seems like Mario Odyssey hasn't been charting quite as high just because
3D World.
3D World, yeah, right.
Different, you could choose a different Mario game now, so it's like it's splitting that audience a little bit. But like I can let me take a look at the
Mario
Nintendo
Golf's
chart.
the worst one on here, right? Sorry, right? Like that's actually the worst Nintendo game on this list.
Oh, you mean like worse in terms of quality? Yeah,
yes,
maybe.
That's what I meant. Yeah, it was a random question.
Let's see. Super Mario Odyssey is not even in the top 10 on the Nintendo chart. So clearly, I think Mario 3D World sort of just took over that spot. Minecraft is number 10 on the Nintendo chart, though. And Minecraft continues to sell, and that's physical only. Okay. That's NPD. If you have any NPD questions, make sure you send in those super chats. We'll try to get to them, everybody, or any comments you want to make. Mike, I need you to explain something to me.
Yo, oh wow, I'm scared.
Final Fantasy 14 Digital Edition sold out?
Yeah, for a little bit. Well, look, so you know, it's codes, and you have to like process and make those codes. You don't just have an infinite supply of them. But I'm not even sure if it was just that, or if the influx of new players was so extreme at some point that they had to slow it down for a moment. This only lasted, I think, for about a day, or maybe even part of a day. But it's just, Jeff, it's crazy. I'm not saying that I'm a major trendsetter, but I'm a major trendsetter because I was doing this like 5 months ago, and now like everyone's coming over. And there's all these factors. The big one, a big one here is that Final Fantasy 14 is very good. It is coming off of its maybe its best expansion, maybe one of the best expansions any game has ever had. It's at the tail end of that, so like players feel really good. There was like the big fan fest, which was great, but also at the fan fest, the composer came out and like told everyone that he was battling cancer, and he composed like all this stuff for the game while in the hospital, and it was incredibly emotional. It's like, and again, it's not like, oh, wow, this guy has cancer, so I like the game more. But everybody felt very good about being a Final Fantasy 14 fan, right? So Final Fantasy 14 players feel great. They're evangelizing like crazy. World of Warcraft Milan has been having a bad time. It was a really long wait between the launch of the expansion and its major patch. Then the major patch came out, and a lot of people weren't super happy with it, specifically some of the story stuff.
Yeah, I saw a headline about the narrative trailer, like the cinematic, and people are like, this sucks.
So to put it somewhat succinctly here, the villain for a while has kind of been Sylvanas, like this undead banshee. And for the course of like 3 expansions now, we've been slowly going through her storyline, and we still don't really know what she's up to. And at this point, and like, it's not like Final Fantasy, which is very cutscene driven. We get like maybe 10 minutes of cutscenes each time there's a major patch. So the story's built up very slowly. We still don't know what her motivations are or what's going on, and people are getting annoyed by that. And then the big thing here is Asmongold, the biggest World of Warcraft streamer, started playing Final Fantasy 14. And 1, actually liked it, and 2, his viewers like him playing it. So that's going well for him. And there's all these people now who all of a sudden realize they don't have to just be World of Warcraft streamers, because that's a big thing for them, right? This is the game I play. This is the game people watch me play. If I switch to something else, I'm going to lose all of my viewers. And people are seeing, oh, if I play this, it's actually fine. People are still happy watching me play this. My older brother AJ was telling me that one of the big World of Warcraft podcasts is kind of switching over now to be a general MMO podcast now in general, just so that they don't have to just talk about World of Warcraft. Like stuff like this seems to be happening everywhere. It's a bit crazy right now, and Final Fantasy 14 seems to be the main beneficiary. But with like New World coming out, it's probably going to help that. Ashes of Creation's coming out soon. This is like the most interesting MMOs have been in a very long time.
Yeah, I'll say we got from one of our biggest fans, Xbox Eliminator, said he just wants to congratulate you on your take. Final Fantasy 14 is perfect and easily the best MMO in the past 30 years. So thank you for that, Xbox Eliminator. I think Mike's take on that's very good.
It's, you know what, we did that tier list, and I put it in the second best tier, and it was right before I I finished the storyline and got to endgame. Like, it's probably my favorite Final Fantasy now. It's probably
you are not the only one saying that.
Game of all time. I still play it hours every day, and I still go to bed, and I'm like, I can't wait to do this thing in that game tomorrow. So it's very, very good. A lot of people are discovering that, and there's an expansion coming out this fall, so we know there's still like a lot of content ahead. Everyone's very excited.
I don't know what I did download it.
Jeff, I want you to play it, but I really don't know what you're going to make of it.
I know, totally. I get it. I don't know either, but I did download it. The hype is getting to me. It's definitely what's happening. So
yeah, right. Well, that's the thing. Like, everyone's talking about it, and it does have this, like, it's the meme, the free trial, but the free trial is very good. You can get like 200 hours of content from the free trial. So
Right.
it's more than enough time to decide if you like the game or not. Someone asked me what the best job is for Kado, and it's Red
Yeah.
Mage. Red Mage is amazing. Red Mage is basically like if Zoro knew how to use magic. And that is just
Whoa,
incredible,
you just
and I love
totally. I'm like, oh, I might play this because I've been watching like I just put it on this like comfort food now that Benicio no oh my god Antonio Banderas
it.
Zorro movie, which is fantastic and one of the great 90s action movies. I watch all the time now, so I'm like in a Zorro kick. I'm like, ooh, that sounds awesome. Okay, let's get on to the rest of the news, and then we'll answer some of these super chats. Kojima doesn't like director's cuts.
Didn't we talk about this? Didn't we say that I think you said they probably didn't ask him if it was called a director's cut.
Yep. And I'm like,
sure
I'm
enough,
not surprised to find out that's exactly the case. Because it's like, Kojima wouldn't call it director's cut, and that's basically what he said on Twitter. He's like, a director's cut is when you have like stuff on the cutting room floor because you don't get final cut, and so then you're going to restore your original vision. That didn't happen here. This is just extra stuff that we're making, and but it's clearly someone else in the marketing department decided this was going to be the thing that would get the most money out of this version of the game, and so they put it on there.
Sure.
And Kojima's like, I love movies, so I know what a director's cut is. I don't want people thinking I'm being an asshole who doesn't understand movies.
Well,
I understand movies.
At least he consoled himself by going back and watching all of the trailers that he ever made for his games and admiring how great they are.
Yes, so that's the other thing he tweeted this week. An incredible tweet. He's like, I went back and watched some of my old stuff, and it turns out most of it really good. And he puts lol at the end. He totally knows what he's doing. I love this guy. I love Kojima. He is so good at everything in terms of like talking about games and getting people excited and talk about himself and building himself up. And you know what? He's right. He's really good at making video game trailers.
Yeah.
Like he is really good at it.
I'll tell you what, all the other like video game, like big name producer auteurs from like the early 2000s, we don't talk about any of them anymore. Like Peter Molyneux, even Cliffy B to an extent, right? But we still love our Kojima. He still always delivers.
Yep. All right. Netflix is going to get more into making video games. Mike, what do you think about this one?
My first thought was Castlevania. That is where I am. That is what I am most curious
good place
about.
To go. That is most people are like, oh, it's not going to work or all this other stuff. And you mentioned Castlevania to me on Grubb Snacks. I was like, whoa, that is a good point because I think to give people an idea of what's happening here. Netflix is hiring more people to help it make games. It's bringing in like a industry veterans to oversee its plans, and then it's going to. And then it has a bunch of jobs up listed on its website saying, hey, here's game development jobs. Let's see if we can make this happen. And I think what's happening is that they saw the way that The Witcher performed as a show, and then they saw the benefit that had for the game, and they're wondering why they don't have a way for people to play a game like that's related to the show on their platform. And things changed over the last several years, and like older games now can last for a lot longer, so that helps Netflix have like a catalog content that it can rely on for years. And I think they want to start handling that. And like they have a really popular Castlevania show. They're really into Castlevania. They're continuing to make Castlevania shows going forward, even though the first show is ending. So yeah, man, that would be a really good place for them to be like, hey, can we make a Castlevania game? That would be awesome.
Right, because I'm sure Konami's not going to do it unless somebody else gives them money, because they don't have the money to invest in a real good Castlevania game, really, for whatever reason. Which it shouldn't even be much, because you can basically just make a pixelated Metroidvania. People would like it, but even still, so they need someone to invest in it, and maybe Microsoft and Sony, for whatever reason, weren't. But Netflix sure will be. Netflix will give them some money.
Yep, I think that's. I was thinking about it last night. I was taking out the trash, and I was like, "Man, Castlevania."
Once again, I am very smart, and I have very good ideas.
I'm just trying to be nice to you because you were so mean to me earlier. I don't want you to do it again, so it really hurt me deep down. Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl or All-Star Brawl. First of all, this it's a Smash game, but taking the name All-Star from PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale and then Brawl from Super Smash Brothers Brawl. Very clever.
Very. It's the most clever kind of stealing.
Yes, exactly. You're the Smash guy. What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I'm excited. How good is it going to be? I don't know. How good does it need to be? Not very. It just needs to have all of these random Nicktoon characters, and you'll play it for a bit and think, haha, Nigel Thornberry is doing a pile driver to SpongeBob SquarePants. That's good. and you'll enjoy it. It'll be a very fun party game. I think there's going to be a lot of people our age who are going to have a few beers and smack cat dog around with Cora, and they're going to have a good time.
I can't remember who tweeted it now, and I'm sorry. Like, if anyone in chat remembers this, but someone said they saw the Nigel Thornberry like sort of bending over himself, and they said, "I hope he controls exactly like Voldo from Soul Calibur." And I'm like, "Oh my god, that's perfect! Look at this man. That would be fantastic."
Oh my god! Wow!
Yeah. The lot of potential there. I'm excited. I just kind of want to see what they do with these characters. The lineup is very good. Powder Toast Man
Powder Toast Man's great.
Yeah,
Reptar is fantastic.
Reptar, pulling on Reptar. Yeah, they could have gone very basic, and it seems like they're at least trying to be interesting in the roster. That gives me some hope for this game. So this is from an indie studio that has made a Smash clone before. I can't remember the name of it.
Right.
But so it's like they have some pedigree here. They know what they're doing, and they have some experience. So it's not like this is the first time they're trying to make something like this. And it's like, okay, so now maybe they can take those ideas that worked and build on them and correct some mistakes they made before and make something that really is just a solid Smash clone. That's all they need to do.
Wouldn't it be incredible if it was like they followed the Melee formula really well, so those people love it, and suddenly it's played at Evo every year and stuff like that?
Yeah, I would just love to go to Evo, even if it doesn't get on like a main stage or anything.
It'll get into something on Evo.
Yes,
it'll have
there'll be like
at least
cash
one
games going
there.
on and stuff. Yeah. Someone in chat said Sony is skipping Gamescom, so I want to see what that is about. I mean,
breaking news.
Yeah, maybe. Sony usually, like, hey, if there's a link for that, can you send it, put it in chat? I'll try to capture it and take a look there and see if we can put it in the news here. But yeah, I'm excited for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Like, when does that come out? It comes out later this year?
Right?
This fall?
It's this year. It's this year. So yeah. I think there's going to be a lot of people who will get that as their third game this year. And there's going to be enough of them that are going to do that it's going to become a hit.
Yep. Persona is going to have 7 announcements between now and like next year or something like that. Mike, we talked about this on Nintendogs a little bit. Starting in September. Just give me the quick version. What do you think this is leading up to?
Well, I think the last announcement is going to be Persona 6. I don't know when it's going to come out. Like, it might be one of those things where we see a logo. Like, when they announced Persona 5, we just saw some chairs with like chain balls on them, and we got like they had like the color red there, so we knew that red was the primary color for this one, because Persona 4 was yellow, 3 was blue, and so on. So we might get a color reveal even. That might be it, but it'll be something. But the other stuff, like 1 or 2 of them will be spin-offs, like another fighting game, but there's gotta be some ports in there. And like some of the obvious ones, at least a couple of those must finally be happening in terms of especially Persona 4 and Persona 5, maybe hopefully Persona 3 coming to more platforms.
Yep. And then Crossfire X got a development update. It is it still seems far away. I've reported before that the Remedy game was the Remedy like single player campaign was in development hell. And to me, the thing that they showed a bunch of like updates to the maps and stuff, to like the multiplayer side, and didn't say much else. To me, it seems like this is still kind of like having some issues, so we might not hear about it again for quite some time. Or next time we hear about it, they'll be like, hey, yeah, here's when you can expect it, but it's still like a year off or something like that. So we'll see. And then finally, a new Jim Ryan quote just dropped. He says that gamers only remember the best games, and I've never found that to be the case. Like, I'm confused about what he's trying to say. I guess maybe he's thinking broadly.
I'm going to remember Battle in Wonderworld for the rest of my life.
For real, yes. We love talking about bad games. People love being the one that played a bad game and bringing it up and be like, have you ever played this garbage? I guess
now.
Yeah,
I mean,
go ahead.
Look, I know why he's saying this is because their whole philosophy right now is super prestigious, like critically acclaimed AAA games. So of course he's going to say this.
Yeah.
So whatever. But also, of course, it's not true.
Yes. Yeah. I like Jim Ryan. I like that he just says he feels like he could say whatever bullshit he wants. And this just is like another one of those, and it's fine. It's not like there's anything wrong with this take necessarily. I just disagree with it.
Right. We're not mad about it.
Yeah, exactly. But it just I'm glad that Jim Ryan is there saying this kind of stuff.
Just look at all the people who remembered Knack. Like, that disproves him immediately. His own platform, right?
Yep,
they even like got tricked into making a sequel.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's the kind of thing. Like, they were like, let's give this game another chance, even though it was already a meme at that point. So, yes. Mike, that does it for the news. Should we get to some of these super chats?
Let me try to buy a Steam Deck one more time. I've not been having any luck. I've been getting some tips in chat. Nothing seems to be working, and I feel like they might. If they weren't out before, they must surely be out by now. So I'm not feeling great about it. But let's get to some super chats.
Someone a couple minutes ago was able to get one. So
okay, well, we'll do some chats and then we'll try again.
I'm bringing up the questions from the Discord as well. So I got those when you're done with the super chats.
Yeah, man, Kung Fu Hot Dog sent us one like 3 hours ago before we started recording.
Thank you, Kung Fu Hot Dog.
Yes. Says, gentlemen, hope you're well. We are well. That Steam Deck looks pretty sick. Will there be an OLED edition next year? Ha ha ha. Also, are you AMD or Intel? Jeff, I don't know. I'm whatever scraps you give me. That's what I am.
I think you have an AMD chip right now.
Do I? Okay.
On my main machine right now for work, I am running a 16 core AMD Ryzen, and it's been really good. They got the thermals under control with the most recent gen. I think it's the 5950X. But I like Intel. Still makes a lot of sense for gaming. Its gaming performance still is really fantastic, and if you could find one for MSRP, usually it's still right now it's a pretty okay deal. Obviously, if you could find an AMD for retail price, I think it's a better deal in most cases because it's good for gaming and it's good for workloads. And if you ever want to resell it, there's going to be a lot of creators out there who are going to be like, yeah, I'll take that off your hands. But yeah, I think you can't go wrong, really. I think the Intel chips still have a long way to go to really match AMD in every category. But I think if you're presented with one right now and you're like, hey, I can get this for MSRP, either one's going to be fine.
Jedi Moss 4 says, does Nintendo feel nervous about Steam Deck? We kind of talked about this at least a little bit. I'm sure they're not that concerned about it. I would be worried if they weren't. I would feel bad if Nintendo was so high up on themselves that they felt like they didn't have to consider this at all. And moves like the price increase for the Switch kind of make me worry about that a little bit. Like we're getting close to the PlayStation 3 era Sony stuff where they think they can't do any wrong, so that they just make a bunch of stupid mistakes and kind of don't care until suddenly they lose their market position. So I don't think they're there. I think they're taking some notice of the Steam Deck. I wonder if there is going to be, once again, this happens, a kind of international problem where maybe Nintendo of America is trying to explain to Nintendo of Japan what this thing is and why maybe it matters and it's scary. And maybe Nintendo of Japan just doesn't really get it or care. Like Nintendo of Japan's still trying to read the memo about why they should make a Waluigi game and throwing up in disgust. So I don't know.
Yeah, I think you might be right there. I think Nintendo can worry a little bit, and but Nintendo rarely worries a lot about any of its competition. Even if the Steam Deck takes off and builds this new audience, it probably wouldn't put too much of a dent into what Nintendo's doing. Nintendo gonna just keep riding on its Nintendo magic for quite some time.
I feel like I have so many good takes today. I am a good take machine.
Yeah, you know what, Mike? You are on fire. You really are. I think you've been really good today.
That's right. I think I'm ready to slam dunk in NBA Jam. That's what you do when you're on
Fuego, right? Joke. When you're on Fuego, right?
Yeah, I just lost it. I just lost the momentum with that awful joke.
Wow, here we go.
Lee says the Switch 2 needs to be powerful enough as the PlayStation 4 Pro. Yeah, I think that sounds right. You would know better than me, but that seems reasonable, right, Jeff?
What was the question? The
Switch 2 should be as powerful as a PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yes. When everything lines up correctly. So we already see that the AMD hardware that Steam Deck is using is really efficient. It's really good. Trust me on that. It is really good. But it's coming about to the levels of a PS4. But if it uses super resolution, the AMD equivalent to DLSS, you probably will be able to see stuff that does run about as good as a PlayStation 4 Pro. NVIDIA's hardware is also very efficient right now, and they're getting to a point where if they were to put the latest generation of NVIDIA tech in there, it would be able to run games pretty well, probably at PS4, Xbox One levels before DLSS. But then, if every Switch game launches with DLSS, then everything is going to look very, very good and be PS4 Pro levels easily. Yes.
Javier Vasquez asks me, hey, Mike, how do you feel about the Mega Man Zero ZX games? Mega Man Zero games are great. Mega Man Zero 3 is the best and one of the best Mega Man games ever, actually. The ZX games are both good. They both have flaws. The first one, the map is really bad and the flying suit is overpowered. In the second one, the voice acting is really, really bad. It doesn't get as much love as the famously bad voice acting in Mega Man 8 or Mega Man 04. but it's very bad. And honestly, it was later enough that it's almost more embarrassing that the voice acting was so bad in ZX Advent or whatever it's called. And also ZX just had it had too many power suits, and some of them we just like turned on gimmicky. I love the idea of a Metroidvania Mega Man game, but it's something I kind of wish they would explore and almost just be a bit more straightforward about its Metroidvania-ishness. Like how Castlevania became Metroidvania. It really was just Super Metroid with Castlevania elements. I want a bit more of that.
Yeah.
Nick Turbo, when we were talking about the Steam Deck, says it looks like the perfect portable GameCube emulator, and I think we are in absolute agreement.
Dolphin runs really good on mobile hardware already, so giving it real PC hardware, it should be pretty good.
Victor Marinez, I just started playing Final Fantasy 14 last week, and I already beat a Realm Reborn. Very nice. Also, should I even bother with the 64 gig Steam Deck? Not a lot of storage. If you're getting a 64 gig Steam Deck, you're going to be depending on the memory slot there, the micro SD slot a lot. So, to me, more so than the storage size is just that I want some SSD storage space if I'm going to get one of these things.
Yeah. So, and that 64 gigabytes is eMMC, which is like old flash memory that like old phones used to use and what the Switch uses. So when you see loading screens for something like Animal Crossing, that's because of the slow eMMC memory or the storage. If you're downloading it digitally, it's about the same speed as like loading it off the card. And so yeah, that's why I was like, I'll probably get the 256 gigabyte one, but then they said the 512 gigabyte SSD is even faster, and then you get like an anti-reflective screen. For all the times I play video games outside because I go outside anymore, I don't know why I did that, but I think they did the medium popcorn thing to me. I'm like, why not? I'll just go for it.
That's the one I was going for too. It was exactly the same thing. I was like, it's only a little bit more expensive than the expensive one, anyways.
Yes.
I think we got that. That was my thought process. Yep. Yes, absolutely. And they're like, well, it comes with a even fancier case than the other one. All right. Yep. Danger Man 1337. This is for you. Wonder if Valve does a Zen 4 plus RDNA 3 second to gen dock. We didn't even talk about the dock, but there's going to be a dock you can buy.
They just showed like a schematic for the dock, so it's like it's hard to even like really think about. But yeah, there's a dock, an optional dock, and it looks like, you know, if you get like a Thunderbolt 4 dock for your MacBook or something like that, it looks like one of those. I don't think they're going to put too much hardware in a dock. I get what you're saying. Like they could do that stuff because I think this thing does use like Thunderbolt as its connection, and that means you would be able to like dock it like when you have like a Razer Blade, like the mini one, and you plug that into an external GPU. Like you could get like desktop style graphics performance on it, but I think they will focus on the internals inside this thing. And yeah, I think the Zen 4 going to be even more efficient. RDNA 3 going to be even more efficient. They'll do another version of this hardware with that hardware inside of it, but probably not in the dock.
Space Dovakin. So we're talking about some of that NPD stuff we were going over. Interesting data, and then you add June was a strong one for PlayStation 5 with Ratchet and Clank launching. That was a nice juicy win for Xbox. I mean, it was a win for Xbox. It wasn't a loss for Sony. PlayStation 5 did very well, and they sold as many Ratchet and Clank did really well, obviously, and they sold as many PlayStation 5s as they could make.
Right.
So everyone's doing well.
Microsoft just happened to I think strategically allocate a lot of Xboxes to the U.S. market right after E3, and it gave them this nice little PR win. It was a smart move, I think.
Xbox Eliminate. Oh, this is the guy who hates us. That's his name this week. Is Xbox Eliminate.
No, he likes you. He liked your Final Fantasy 14 take. So.
Oh, good. Well, he says Nintendo releases shovelware and ports. Stop hyping you. Then he puts a clown emoji. So thank you for that feedback.
Not going to stop hyping it.
Rodimus says, does the fact Ratchet & Clank 2016 released at $40 and the new Ratchet & Clank is $70, could that maybe be a low representation in the data? I mean, I think he means in terms of it selling more. I don't think it matters. I think it sold significantly more than Ratchet and Clank 2016. Even
it makes some difference, but it's not. I think overall, I think Mike's right that it's this is more about there being more demand than ever for a game like this, and this game getting really good reviews. Just
remember, like Ratchet and Clank 2016 was an absolute afterthought for Sony, and that was part of that why it got that price. Like at that E3 that year, it got very little representation, and when it came out, like people were like, oh yeah, that was really nice. In fact, people were like, oh, it's surprisingly good. It was just a very different vibe than Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart being
one of the most anticipated games of the year.
Yes, very different. Brap, Basement Ready Arcade Podcast says we finally got the Switch Pro. Thank you, Steam. Happy Friday, guys. I'll tell you what, it was funny that they announced this thing 2 hours before the pre-orders for the OLED happened.
Absolutely. And the hard drive mag, that website that does the parody stories, was like, Valve finally announces the Switch Pro. And I'm like, okay, that's a good headline. They got it.
Xbox Eliminator sent us another one. It keeps sending us money. Thank you. Do you want me to read this one?
Yeah, go ahead. It's fine.
He says, "Where's Kojima?" He said the wrong form of where, but that's okay. Persona, Starfield. Why you keep lying again? Clown emoji. Yeah, Jeff. Why are you such an awful liar?
I lie because I think it's funny. I think it's funny to make him so upset. Also, Kojima's in Japan. Persona's on the PlayStation. What was the last one? What's the last?
Starfield is going to be on Xbox.
Yeah,
I think
gonna be on Xbox.
I think he means where's the Kojima Xbox project you've been talking about? Which you said they signed the deal.
Yeah,
I know. You idiot. I mean, look, that's going to happen. Persona, we never broke anything of a Persona, right? We've always just been speculating and hoping there.
Yeah, I think that was never my story. I think I heard the rumors that other people heard about it coming to Xbox, but that was never my story.
And then we've talked before, but everybody attributes Starfield coming out this year to you for some reason.
Yes, it's just whatever.
That's like, yes, you're bad.
Yeah,
apparently. Kung Fu Hot Dog is back again. It's nice when you send us money and are mad at us, but it's also nice when you send money and you're nice. But we love all of you. We love all you, even the Xbox Eliminators.
I love Xbox Eliminator. Yeah, clearly a fan.
Cloud emojis. It's pretty funny. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, that's harsh, but yeah, that's funny.
Yeah. Kung Fu Hot Dog. Jets, what are sales like for GPUs now? I had to get my MSI RTX 3060 through a budget pre-built AMD gaming PC. Can I sell my RTX 2060 for money? Jeff, why don't you answer that?
Okay, listen. So, did they say that they already have another GPU lined up? Like, do they have one that they've already bought and like secured? I'm asking you, Mike.
I'm sorry. I immediately assumed that none of this was going to involve me and tried buying a Steam Deck again.
that's fine. I was just like, I think the question is like, can I sell a GPU and then buy another one? If you have another GPU already secured, if you've already bought it, if you lined it up and you got it for MSRP, sell your old one. Sell your old GPUs now. No, it's fine. It's gonna.
This is absolutely the safe point for me.
Yeah, go get a Steam Deck. That's fine. You're right. Mostly right.
It didn't work.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, it's still a good time to sell GPUs, but they are going to start coming down in price. I think beginning now. So if you could sell your stuff now and you have another one lined up, I would do that.
Hardcore Games asks, could Nintendo Switch win against the Steam Deck? Yeah, I mean, the Switch is still going to sell better against this thing. This is almost not even so much about Valve establishing a specific machine or console. It's about establishing a market.
Yeah, a new market, a nascent market that is coming into the world for the first time. A new PC market is what this is, and that's not where the Switch is competing.
Welcome to the new age. To the new age. Welcome. That used to be one of my jams at the club. Not the clubs. I don't go to clubs, but at the CD cheap bars where I can get whiskey for $1.
You get your swill.
Yeah, exactly. Dylan Wright says, hello, my favorite Arby's influencers. Hello. Hey. See, I got the hat now on display back there permanently. So everyone knows who my allegiances belong to. When do you think Pikmin 4 will come out? And what do you personally want from a new entry? I'm dying for more. Jeff, when are we going to see Pikmin 4? Probably has to happen because that's Miyamoto's like kind of passion project.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe in the next year, but I'm not sure.
They're going to write Pikmin 3 Deluxe for a while, I feel like.
Yeah, and I think Pikmin 3 Deluxe did better than they expected, so maybe that makes them want to return to Pikmin 4 faster, but they could always just keep selling Pikmin 3 Deluxe as well. I don't think there's any rush, so maybe we'll get lucky if we see it in the next year, probably.
What would you want from a Pikmin 4?
I would like them to change up the like the planet structure and the daily. I would like to try to make it more of a straightforward campaign of building up your army to like take on like some other big force. Like maybe they have to like go back to their home planet and it's been taken over by aliens and they need to like build up the Pikmin army. I guess you would return to the planet like, okay, we're going to take this Pikmin army to help us fight this war here and kind of make it more head-on-head, like one-on-one battles and stuff like that. I think that could be cool.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't played a ton of these games, but I'd rather, instead of like the day-night structure being kind of like what ends your play session or not. I'd like it for just be one big continuous world where you're setting up new outposts, kind of expanding your reach that way.
Exactly. Yeah. Make it. Yeah. Just change up the loop a little bit. The loop is good, but they've done the same thing now for all the games. And I think if they make it about like expanding your world slowly and making it bigger and bigger each time, that could be really cool.
Xbox Emperor says, "Is the Gunk Xbox exclusive?" I'm confused. Lol. What's the Gunk?
The Gunk is the new one from the team that made Steam World Dig 2, one of the greatest games ever made.
Oh, no wonder I don't care.
Oh, you're a piece of shit. You are awful. You are so... Steam World Dig 2 is great. I don't understand how you can't like it.
Give Hollow Knight another shot. Make some progress, and I will get back to it. I'm not even saying beat it. Hollow Knight is an absolute modern masterpiece. So, and to be clear... That's a good. Can we do a poll right now? Do you do polls on this thing? Put Hollow Knight Steam World Dig 2. I wonder what people would say.
Right. Yeah, I know what they're gonna say. Fine.
You think? I don't know. A lot of people like Steam World Dig 2.
All right.
But I mess with you. I don't think it's a bad game. I just didn't really get into it. But look, I'll give it another shot once things slow down here. I have so many Switch games I'm playing right now. But Hollow Knight is ridiculous. Hollow Knight is so good. Oh, look at this new fancy poll. Everyone, vote on this poll in our chat if you're listening live.
You can't vote, Mike, because I'm not allowed to vote.
Well, just if you vote for SteamWorld 2 and I vote for Hollow Knight, it can't.
No, I'm not. I can't vote my own poll. Oh, you a piece of yeah, SteamWorld 2. SteamWorld 2. SteamWorld Dig 2. Go. Oh fuck. No. Oh no. Go. Come on.
See, I can't even see the poll until I can't see the results until I vote.
Okay, go ahead and vote for your stupid game. You're gonna push it over the edge though. There it went, right when you did it.
Yeah, there we go. See, it's close. It's close. Okay,
it's 47-52 Hollow Knight right at this moment. It was like 59-41 for SteamWorld 2.
102 votes too. That's close. Okay, we'll let that run a bit longer. We'll come back to that. But look, we both need to play these respective games. They're both very well regarded.
I agree. I have Hollow Knight on my Switch. I'll play it.
But anyways, is Gunk Xbox exclusive?
I think it is. It's at least timed exclusive. But it might be longer than that. I hesitate to say that any one of those kinds of games is going to be forever exclusive to Xbox, because when stuff like Ori ends up on Switch and PlayStation, like it's like then the Gunk's probably going to go elsewhere in a year or so. But at least for now, it'll be timed exclusive.
Whoa, SteamWorld Dig 2 at 52%, Hollow Knight 48. Come on, whoa, Jeff, did you go on Twitter?
No, I didn't say anything.
Here?
I didn't say anything. Oh,
that's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Oh, no, that's an awful idea. You can only use your Twitter advantage to boost
people
my
are gonna come in and be like,
you can only boost my memes with that. Look how many more likes I got on Twitter. Jeff, get off of Twitter. Jeff, you're already winning. You don't need to do this.
It's gonna backfire.
Actually, it won't backfire. Yeah, do it. Do it. That's great. It's gonna backfire fantastically. Ori is better than both. Well, Ori 2 is better than both of them. I'll tell you what. Ori 2 is not that much better than Hollow Knight. And if you know how much I like Ori 2, that is high praise. Also, Ori 2 clearly took a lot of inspiration from Hollow Knight. Yeah. Basically, all the improvements it made came from Hollow Knight. So they were definitely paying attention. All right, you ready for the next super chat here?
Yes, I am. Let's do it.
Lucius Augusta says, I'm not going to lie. Those bots got hands, but after fighting the Borg for an hour, I finally got the high-end 512 gigabyte model Sucket Scalper. So he got a Steam Deck. Great. Good for you. I'm real happy for you, Lucius.
Oh, that's right. We have clips on the channel now. So people can clip our stuff when we're live. So, Christian just clipped one. I don't even know what it says because I can't watch it because I don't want to hear it during the thing. So I'm just going to retweet it blindly.
The clip is when I destroyed you, right, earlier in the show.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
I hope so. Anyways, because I need to see that. All right.
Go ahead.
Sabbath, SteamOS 3.0. How well would it work with other apps like the Epic Store since it's Linux? Also, Game Pass Store. Linux. I've got Linux and Lucy.
What was the specific question? I understand.
How well is SteamOS 3.0 going to work with other apps like Epic, Game Pass?
It's probably going to work okay. Valve's going to do a lot of work to make sure that stuff goes well, but it is still Linux. But you can install Windows on it, so if that's what you want to run, it should run fine. And Windows 11 works very good on these low-powered PCs right now.
Oh my God! I got to try to counteract your tweet because this is upsetting to me that Hollow Knight's losing.
All the replies to me are like, "Okay, I voted for Hollow Knight."
Well, then what is happening? You got the same bots that got me out of getting a Steam Deck in here now.
I don't think it's bots, guys. I think Steam is like not something that the bots are set up to use. Like you can only have like one account, like one purchase per account. So
you know what it is? People see Steam and they think that this is a Steam Deck. They think if they vote for Steam World 2, it's going to somehow up their odds.
Yeah, that's what it is, Mike. Wow.
Yeah. I don't know how you account for it. I just don't know. Bad taste, I guess. These are the same. I mean, the last time you read that poll and it was this Game Boy Color, a separate platform, all of those plebs are like, no, it's just, everyone's just wrong and not as smart as me, I guess is what is really
do polls
happening.
more often. This is fun.
Yeah, well, you just think it's funny when I'm mad, and it is. I understand.
Yeah. Just to give the audio listeners an update, SteamWorld 2 is at 52, Hollow Knight is at 48 with 196 votes.
Oh my
gosh. Mike, more super chats?
Yes, I can't tear my eyes away from the poll. I'm so nervous, but yeah. Okay. Forky says, "Where's the Minotti dating sim?" So what? So your choices are me, AJ, and Chris. Man, I don't think I don't know. I don't know. But I don't like my chances in that one. Being borderline aromantic's probably not going to help me there. They're going to come over, and I'm just going to play GameCube in the other room and ignore you. I'm not sure how well I'm gonna do with that. I'd rather it be another game with dating sim elements, like how it's like Harvest Moon. It's like a farming game, but really everybody just wants to get a wife, right? So
when I play those games, I don't want to romance other characters. So if there was Mike Minotti, it's just like, hey, we can hang out, I guess. I think, I think that could work for you, for some people. So,
Jeff, 50-50 again. No, 49-51 in favor of Hollow Knight. Oh my God. This is the poll of all time. I didn't think it was going to be that close, actually. I was lying. I thought Hollow Knight was going to take it. I was egging you into it and be like, no, it'll be close. Just so you would do it, but no. Okay, next one. From Ghost Fact Killer. Hey, guys, it's Friday. It is Friday. I ain't got no job. You ain't got shit to do. Let's party. Enjoy. We are kind of partying.
Yeah, we're having it's a Friday. We're having a party. That's what this podcast is this week.
Because it was my younger brother Chris's birthday, we actually went out to get lunch together, and he wanted to go to a bar, and I actually was good and didn't drink. But I feel like if you're listening to this show, you wouldn't believe that. Okay.
Oh my God! Stop the count jokes. Oh my God!
Stop the count! Stop the count now! We're gonna wake up tomorrow. SteamWorld 2 is gonna be winning, and I'm going to burn the country down in response.
Yeah, Maricopa is really fucking this up. Yeah, exactly.
All right, I'm trying. Motto Mufti. We'll go with that. Have you guys heard about the Netflix Sony rumor deal? Ghost of Tsushima and PlayStation 5 DualSense images have been found on the Netflix iOS app. I haven't heard about that. What do you make about this?
I guess it wouldn't surprise me, but I mean, is Netflix and Sony, does that really sound like some powerful force against Game Pass to you? I don't know. It sounds like the kind of thing where it's like,
kind of, actually, yeah.
You think so? It's okay. I'm just thinking
it's about as good a deal as Sony could make. I feel like. I mean, I don't think it's going to overtake Game Pass, but it seems like a smart idea to me.
It's not a bad idea, except for I just think these two big corporations trying to make something together is the kind of thing that like breaks up in a couple of years because they can't agree on stuff. But if they can line it up and make everything work, yeah, I guess it could be a powerful force. I would at least be. I mean, I'm already subscribed to Netflix and PlayStation Now, so if they bring those things together, I'll try it out and see what happens. But I don't know. I guess I'm having a hard time envisioning what it looks like. What are you when you say it sounds like a good idea? What are you imagining?
I guess that's true, right? Like, obviously, it's not like you go in your Netflix app and you start playing PlayStation games. So
I don't know.
Netflix, like, I guess I don't know what that looks like. I mean, I don't really know how it looks like anyway. There just have to be a separate Netflix app for the PlayStation then, and then not for Xbox. So yeah, I don't know.
And if they're showing images of the controller and the Netflix app, to me, you know what that sounds like, Mike? That sounds like DualSense features getting added to shows, so you can like hold the controller and you feel like the vibrations.
Well,
and the
said Ghost of Tsushima images were also found.
Okay, I mean, I guess it wouldn't surprise me too much, but I would have to see what it's going to end up looking like before I can really make a judgment. I'm just having a hard time imagining that right now.
All right, I got a couple more here from Chet Sandberg. SteamWorld Dig 2 is one of the most amazing games to ever play this gen. Yeah, it's really great. Too bad it's losing by 4 points to Hollow Knight, but great game. Dick Turbo says, "Do you want to smash ... Brothers Melee, and you know that I do. Man, I'm gonna play that on my Steam Deck that I'm not gonna get. It's gonna be great. Jedi Moss 4 asks, with Skyward Sword, or says, this is more of a statement, with Skyward Sword HD getting praised for its trimming of tutorials, Nintendo's hand-holding with Wii games was a bigger problem than motion controls. Yeah, it's absolutely true, and it was a complaint we all had at the time. I remember the big point for me, where it really bothered me, it was around the same time, was actually Mario and Luigi, the one with Luigi dreaming and stuff like that. I couldn't get more than 5 hours into that game because all it was going into a new area and watching 3 tutorials, 2 of which would only apply to that area, and then leaving and doing it again. I was like, I can't do this anymore. This is driving me absolutely insane. But Nintendo seems to have learned. There are still some games that could be a little worse with that than others. Like Breath of the Wild was the real big, okay, we're not doing that anymore moment.
Yep, and it was the right choice.
Yeah, it sure was. Oh, we're back to 50-50, Jeff. Oh, never mind. 51-49, back to Hollow Knight. So even when it's 50-50, it's still in that Hollow Knight favor right now. So, well, is this a 10-minute thing? Because we're at 9 minutes. How long?
No, it's just 9 minutes ago.
Well, yeah, but how long?
I can end it. I can end it whenever I want. So once SteamWorld 2 is back,
convenient.
So once SteamWorld 2 is back in the lead, guess what?
All right. Well, let's end it at 15 minutes. All right. When it says 15 minutes again.
All right. Yeah, that's fair.
Give it a little bit more time.
Yeah, we'll see if my audio works then. If I could hear you when you say that when it's 15 minutes.
Wow. All right. Joe S asks you, when do you feel comfortable about breaking news? What's the process like?
Yeah. So, first of all, I'm never comfortable.
I believe that.
I'm always uncomfortable. So it's like, even when I do it and I feel good about it, it's still like, I know that this is going to probably be annoying, at least for someone, and maybe very, very frustrating on the other end. But that's developers and publishers, and I do not write for them. They don't pay my salary, and they're not my audience. My audience is people who read about games, and if I feel like announcing something and breaking a story and leaking something will also enable me to explain some of the thought process, some of what's happening behind the scenes, it's usually a very easy decision. If it's just, hey, they're making Dead Space, and I was able to, like, when we did the Dead Space thing, once I started putting that story out, I was able to find an angle where it's like, here's kind of what EA's thinking about, like, making these kinds of games and why they're doing it. But Dead Space was the kind of thing where it's like, we probably, if when we teased it, if other people didn't immediately come in and report and say, yes, it's definitely Dead Space, we probably wouldn't have reported it. We probably would have waited till the thing. But other sites were like, yeah, we have this too, and we're ready to report it. The line usually is this going to benefit the readers to hear about? And, even if they are going to find about it anyway, can we kind of add some insight? And if I could do that stuff, usually I feel pretty good about doing it. And also, as long as I'm not going to get anyone in trouble, that's the number one thing. I don't want to get anyone fired or anything like that. So that's number one.
Nick Sailing asks, does Leisure Suit Larry deserve a spot in Smash? I remember actually being very surprised when I found out, those games actually do have nudity. They're not just like cute little, like mildly pervy games. I was like, well, interesting. The only one I actually played was the college campus one that came out when I was in college, which was basically just like mini games. And then you saw like 2 pairs of tits at some point. So yes, he does deserve a spot in Smash.
Yes, definitely.
All right, that's it for the super chats for now, Jeff.
Thank you, everybody, for sending all those in. I have
great.
Some questions from the Discord. I've got quite a few, so we'll try to hit a good clip here. Nick Turbo, Mike, I downloaded the trial Final Fantasy 14 on my PS5. Got any tips for a starter like me?
Pick a DPS class to start with. I want to do tanking or healing to start. Do main story quests. So on the top left of your screen, it'll tell you what your next main story quest is. That is always your priority for now until way past the trial. You don't have to grind for levels. You will get all the levels you need from doing that. Not progressing in the main story is what is going to lock you out of content more than anything else. So that's it. Those are the 2 main tips.
Nick Turbo with another question. Jeff, did you ever figure out why people thought the Gamer's Medium review was actually yours? It's always
did.
It was always the kind of thing of like someone just put 2 pictures together and just lied, and then and because it fit the narrative of what angry fans wanted to believe, they didn't question it. They just said, "Here we go," and they ran with it. And it was almost
scary. It's like, this is how easily mobs are manipulated. That's right. They're obviously like the stakes were low in this case, like whatever.
Absolutely.
But it is just weird seeing the fragility of reality.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, right?
I mean, it's that ancient old saying of like, a lie gets halfway around the earth before the truth has a chance to put on its pants, and like that we've seen this repeatedly, and that was just another situation of that.
That was like the one I was like, I would try to point that out to people. Like, now that you see that is just a lie, can you possibly consider that maybe Jeff isn't a fanboy, and maybe you're just being emotionally driven because of some like affinity you have for this brand? Mm-hmm. And they were always like, nah,
no apologies
Jeff,
ever.
This is the new reason why Jeff hates Sony.
You
have 1 minute left on your poll, by the way. It's 52%, 48%.
Low Roll says, "What's up, Mega Meat Mommies?"
53.47. Oh, it's looking bad for Steam World.
All right, hang on. I gotta get one more drive. One more
more
chance.
drive. You got 30 seconds. Go do your worst. You know what? Do your worst.
Please.
Do your worst. Don't forget to run Suckty. Don't forget to get Suckty going. Suck these nuts. Let's go. Okay.
Oh, okay. Low Roll asks, "Hey, what's up, Mega Meat Mommies? Would you be excited for a Super Smash Kart, or would you like to see a Mario Kart 9 instead? I think the next game has to be a Nintendo, like, overall all brands kart game. I hope.
I would absolutely like it to be in that direction. I mean, that was super exciting when they were throwing like Link and the Splatoon people and Animal Crossing characters into Mario Kart. I mean, why not, right? That's something to get people excited. I guess the reasoning is, why bother? It's Mario Kart. It's going to sell amazingly well anyways. But you do have to do something kind of interesting there. I loved, remember the Sega racing game that had just all these random Sega characters in it? Even Billy Hatcher, and there's like a Panzer Dragoon level and stuff like that. That's fantastic.
That's awesome.
Love that stuff.
Yeah, like you got like some of the like Afterburner music in there, because there's an Afterburner level or whatever. Like they have that was really, really cool. I wish Nintendo would do exactly something like that.
Right, like so it's like, okay, you're never gonna have a Star Tropics character as Smash Brothers, but a Star Tropics themed racing track in Mario Kart, ooh, that would be pretty cool. And I think they could get away with that, and that would be awesome.
Yep.
All right, Jeff, it's 52 minutes. I'll give you another minute. Pity minute.
It's injury time. Jackson Tench asks, "Do you think we'll get a Switch Lite revision before or after the Pro? For example, do we get a..." Oh, hang on. The rest of the question is, do we get a new 2DS style model with a new processor, or just an OLED Lite like in a year or two? I think that they will upgrade the Lite around the same time they upgrade the Pro. That's my guess. But that's just a guess. I think that they'll probably want to make sure that they get everything sort of on the same hardware in general.
Really?
And it might be like a Switch Lite Pro almost, but yeah.
But you think before the Switch Pro? Or...
No, around the same time, but it would be
around the same time.
Around the same time. Yeah.
Okay, I misheard. Gotcha. All right, Jeff. It's 60 minutes. It's 54% Hollow Knight. It's 46 Team Up 2. It's only getting worse.
Yeah, it's only getting worse. All right, I'm gonna end it, motherfuckers.
Justice prevails.
Disgusting.
We got a super chat from Crodo who said, "Whatever wins, you can play it on Steam Deck." Oh, to be fair, you could also play whatever wins on a Switch. Yep. Also, basically any platform, really, right?
Yep. They're at everywhere. There it is. Final results. Oh, it's disgusting.
342 votes. Thank you, everybody. I wonder how many people have never even played either of them and just made a passionate call based off of which of us they like.
If you just came here because I tweeted and then you voted against me, you have to at least give us a thumbs up and give us a like. All right, like give that to me as like some consolation prize. Thank you everybody for your votes. You know what? SteamWorld Dig 2 did better than I thought it was going to do, so I should take the moral victory.
Now wait a second. 53% and 46%. Where's the missing 1%, Jeff? These adders don't numb up.
Yeah.
Don't numb up. They don't numb up.
I hate when numbers don't numb up.
Jeff.
So frustrated not numbing up.
Take the L. That's what the kids say, right? Just take the L, dude.
Moral victory. Eric asks, Matt Booty is only one man. How many studios does Xbox have to get before they hire a co-head of first party to take some of his workload? Does Phil have Sean Layden's number?
Where's the lead of acquired studios?
Yeah, for real. My guess is that they would probably just like have Matt Booty delegate even more and just hire more people under him to like handle his responsibilities is my guess there. But I don't know if they hire if they bring in another 5 studios, you're right. They might need to, split things up and have like a head of North American studios and a head of European studios or something like that. Okay. Nick Turbo with has Xbox regained all the goodwill they lost during the okay, I'm sorry. Has Xbox regained all the goodwill that they lost during the Kinect and early Xbox One days, or do they still have a ways to go?
Xbox, I think just about, right? So people seem pretty happy with that brand, at least as happy as they ever were. Like, what was their high point? Like middle Xbox 360 era?
Yeah, kind of like right before we realized how bad Red Ring was, but like when like Call of Duty was dominating and everyone was playing on Xbox Live and stuff and playing together. Yeah, I think that's it. But I agree that I think it's mostly regained and does not have a ways to go. I think it has a ways to go to like be in the same sort of mind share that Sony's in, but it seems like it's on that way. It's on that trajectory, at least. They could still screw it up. Benji Bop, and Benji's got our nickname, so let's see here. Happy Friday to Jeff, teaching kids how to pirate games, Grubb. Thank you. And Mike, preparing for the new Coke Zero war, Minotti.
Oh, I saw some people asking in chat, and it wasn't the time yet, but yes, the Coke Zero thing, I'm very upset. They're changing the recipe again. Jeff, you could tell them how upset I was the first time they changed the recipe, because you told me.
Yep.
We were at some of them. We were at like a Walgreens or something.
Yeah.
Because there was a Coke Zero, and I was like, yeah, Coke Zero, I need this to survive.
Yeah, and I just read the news the day before. I'm like, so what do you think about this? They're going to change it to something else. And yeah, you were like,
I was like, what?
And you were like, had to like, I think you Googled it like right there for yourself.
I was so upset.
Yep.
And it turned out mostly okay that time. It tasted about the same when they changed it. They made the name stupider because it went from Coke Zero to Coke Zero Sugar. Like, what did they think people thought it had zero of? I don't know. but now they're changing the recipe again, supposedly to make it taste more like Coke, like regular Coke, which I don't want. I like it because it tastes like Coke Zero, and they're making the label uglier. Now, the Coca-Cola Twitter people, they sent me a survey to send me one early, I guess, to try it. So I'll give it a fair shake. We'll see. We'll see what it's like. But I'm very skeptical. I like Coke Zero.
Coke Zero influencer here, everybody. Oh, no.
Yeah, I'm just an influencer of all the things that I consume that aren't good for me now.
Do you guys think the Soulsborne games would have become this popular if they implemented accessibility features and difficulty sliders from the start? I think so. Yeah. But what do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I don't know if it would have mattered that much one way or the other. I think it would have been fine. I mean, the one thing with the Souls game is that they do have those multiplayer kind of components. So maybe...
Yeah, but Benji says, like, don't get me wrong, I would like to see these features added, but I feel like the reason these games got so popular and felt unique in the first place was because of its notorious reputation as a hard game. Thanks, as always. Have a meaty weekend. And I think what they probably could have done is what Celeste did.
Yes, got it! Let's go!
Did you get a Steam Deck?
Steam Deck!
All right, congratulations, Mike. Well done. Hooray! Yay!
Finally.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh. All right.
He did it, everybody. All right, good for you, Mike.
Okay.
Yeah, you're still excited about it. Like it hadn't broken you. You were trying this whole time.
Oh, yes. Yes, I just kept trying this whole time. Giving it longer breaks. And there it is. Finally got it. Look at all these Steam points. Oh, baby. I have a lot of Steam points. What do you use those for?
It says there's a point shop, and I'm like, what the hell is a point shop? So I haven't looked at it. But yeah, now Gabe Newell owes you a Steam Deck, so congratulations.
He's got to come over to my house and deliver it in person. He'll reprimand me for being late to that Artifact showing that one time. And that's the only time I ever met him, was me walking in late like a doofus to the Artifact preview. I didn't think Gabe Newell was putting it on. I didn't mean to be late either. Imagine my sheepish look when I walk in there and it's fucking Gabe Newell. And everyone looks at me.
Sharpening his knives.
I'm like, I got lost. Sorry. But it doesn't
with your half-drink Coke Zero in your hand. Yeah.
I have just a Diet Dr. Pepper, which is the second best.
Now, but when you went to go see Gabe Newell, I'm sure it was a half-drink Coke Zero. Yeah.
This might be the new best pop. We'll see.
Yeah, Diet Dr. Pepper is always great.
I was getting real mad on Twitter because I get very upset about people talking about cherry Dr. Pepper, because Dr. Pepper already has cherry flavor. It's one of the 23 flavors.
I mean, it's not their fault that they talk about it. It does exist.
I know it exists. It should be called Dr. Pepper Extra Cherry. This sounds very, now as I say it out loud, this sounds very pedantic of me.
Yeah, you're kind of that guy, Mike. I think that's...
I was having so many good takes, and now I'm drunk.
Now you're just being Andy Rooney.
Power.
Yeah.
I'm drunk with purchase. I have so many Steam points. Why should I have to deal with any of you?
Vinci Bob's got another one. What are y'all's thoughts on the Steam Deck ergonomics? I'm afraid that the width of the controller parts and the thumbstick placement will cause a lot of thumb strain faster than Joy-Cons would, and considering it's a portable device, they need to nail handheld comfort. I'm reserving judgment until I hold it myself. I don't know. I've heard good things from Tom Marks over at IGN, who has played with it, I guess, multiple days in a row. So it seems to me like it's probably going to work fine, but I don't know.
It was funny. I met Tom Marks at that Artifact thing at Valve.
Oh, really? Okay.
So yeah, how about that? But yeah, I'm not as worried about other people. I think it's going to be fine.
Yep. Jake Bogdanoff. How future-proof is the Steam Deck going to be? Am I going to have to upgrade this thing a bunch? I don't care about graphics as long as things run well. I think it's going to be pretty future-proof. It probably should be able to run. It's going to be able to run indie games like in perpetuity, like for a long time.
The way I justify it is at some point, even if it doesn't run like many new games anymore, then it can just become my very, very nice emulator machine, right?
Absolutely.
It will always be able to be that. So.
Well, I'm going to imagine that years from now, people are going to be like, hey, this Steam Deck that came out in 2021 is still one of the best emulation boxes you can buy, and here's why. Like, it's going to be like sought after, I think, like from years from now. Another good thing is like the software side of stuff of making games run better is just kind of hitting its stride right now, and things like super resolution are going to make a big difference for this thing for quite some time. Penball RJ asks, do you think Nintendo could change their agreements for console exclusivity to now include PC if they see a device like Steam Deck as a competitor?
I still don't think so. I think they're not going to buy, especially if they're doing very well like they are. They're not going to feel a need to branch out. Now, again, Nintendo's fortunes have gone from super high to super low before. That's why we got these mobile games, because they were like, we need to diversify. They do not want to diversify right now. They have all the eggs in the Switch basket. Yep.
Yeah, I think that's right, and I think that Nintendo's not going to change their agreements because of this. But maybe down the line, I guess we'll see. Giggy, in your opinion, who do you think the audience of the Steam Deck is? To me, it seems too much to buy in for just playing cheaper indie titles like Hades or Hollow Knight. And he says, as much as I would love to go play a Total War game on the go, I also do not think that the controller and screen will translate well for mouse-centered games or ones where the text set is too small and compact to read. So other than the core PC enthusiasts out there who want to play games like Red Dead Redemption 2 anywhere and don't miss mouse and keyboard controls, who else do you think this product is for? Bonus question, how much better will the Steam Deck perform compared to the Steam machines sales wise? It's going to blow the Steam machines away.
It's going to blow them away. So to your point, I think you're right, and to a degree, but I think you are maybe underestimating how big a market core PC gamers is anymore. Yeah. I think that is a lot of people. Like if everybody who bought Persona 4 Golden got a Steam machine, even, right? Like that's something. The Steam machine, a Steam Deck to start with, that's a little something, and it's going to do better than that.
Yep. I think that you got to keep in mind there's a lot of people who already have a substantial Steam library, and if you tell them, hey, all those games you always complain about being in your backlog and all those Steam summer sales where you buy a bunch of games, you're like, I don't know when I'm ever going to play them. Imagine having this thing portable so that you can play that whenever you want. Like, people are going to imagine that marketing on Valve's behalf and be like, man, now I get through some of my backlog, or now it makes sense to spend more money on a Steam summer sale. That's going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for Valve. Even if people are sort of lying to themselves, and once they have it in their hands, they won't be playing it quite as much as they imagine. I think it's still going to benefit from that sort of imagination a little bit.
Man, I just realized classic point and click adventure games are going to be so good on here. Yep. So that's something where even if using that touchpad is a little bit more clumsy compared to mouse and keyboard, for a point and click adventure game, doesn't really matter. You have plenty of time. Gosh, I'm just looking at my Steam library now. All these games I have that I haven't played yet, like Desperados 3. Yeah, absolutely played that. This is almost like the Game Pass competitor here is people's Steam libraries, because it has a lot of people, they have a zillion games that they've gotten through Humble Bundles or these Steam sales or whatever. Yep. They haven't played them, and here they are.
Yep, it's gonna fit really well with what a lot of people want, and they'll be like, hey, a new way to play this stuff, that's great. I think it's gonna go a long way for Valve.
What the hell is Star Trek Adversaries? Was that the card game? That was the card game. I like that.
Is that your library?
I was playing it at one point so early on when no one else was playing it that I think I was ranked number 6 in the world at some point. And I was not playing it that much, so I don't know how well that I don't know if it's still getting supported. I'd be surprised.
From Yami Seth, how strong will the demand for the Steam Deck prove because of the Switch Pro no-show this year? Have a nice weekend with the ice cold Coke Zero before it is too late. I think the lack of a Switch Pro is going to help the Steam Deck somewhat, but I think to start, it is going to be different audiences. Like, it is going to be people who want to just play that Steam library like we were just talking about.
I'm sure Valve is happy that Nintendo didn't announce a Switch Pro for this year. And I wonder if they were kind of like, once the OLED did get announced, I wonder if that's when things really started moving faster on getting this thing ready for pre-orders.
Yeah, and I wonder if that's like why Valve lowered the price from 500 to 400, because, you know, like I said earlier, like they were telling developers a couple weeks ago that was going to be $500 to start. So coming out $400, like, it puts it right next to the Switch OLED. I wonder if they were thinking, oh, a Switch Pro is going to come and be $400, so we could be $500. That'll be a good comparison. But with the Switch OLED of $350, they're like, we'll move it down a little bit. But I mean, either way, Valve's going to try to compete in that space while also appealing to another audience. From Epic Open World, last week after the show, I got Arby's thanks to those meat sweats. You're welcome. This week, I saw NPD's Matt Piscatella tweeted he went to Arby's for the first time and credited you guys for that. Yep, we're happy to introduce Matt to the world of meat.
We're meatfluencers. You know,
right.
It's not just a fun and amazingly witty label.
Yeah, it's the real deal. It's the real deal. It's what we do here.
It's what we do, making dreams come true, one beef and cheddar at a time.
It is clear Arby's has great power. Do you think you could use the power of Arby's to get out of Doug Bowser's Nintendo jail? Maybe break bread at Arby's with him and explain it was all a simple mistake by Mike.
Doug Bowser is not the problem. Doug Bowser, I think, is on our side. Apparently, it's Nintendo of Japan who got mad at us.
Yeah,
very specifically. So I don't know if they have Arby's in Japan. So I don't know.
We might be shit out of luck. Oh no!
I know they have TGI Fridays over there.
Oh my god!
I know that's a thing.
Cutting into us like cutting the ribbon on the first Arby's in Japan or something like that. Yeah.
Now look, I know that it was very important that people didn't know how many cat shines were in Bowser's Fury, and obviously what I did was a great crime. But
we're sorry, Shigeru Miyamoto. We're sorry.
There's only so much groveling I can do. What is that about free roams at archive.org? I have no idea what you're talking about. Jeff never said that.
Archive.org. It's a great website.
Oh god.
Epic Open World then follows up with, when do you think Sony will start bringing PS5 games to PC? I understand it will not be day and date, but with PS5, but Sony has said in the past on investor calls they want to shorten that time frame. I'm interested in a small subset of their exclusives and would rather just play them on my new Steam Deck than buy a PS5 for that small handful of games.
That's interesting. So Ratchet and Clank, I don't know. I imagine that Demon Souls remake is something they want to get on PC.
Yeah, seems like it was made with PC in mind. Yeah,
right. It seems like it's done fine. And Blue Point is like rumored for acquisition, right? Like that was the one that showed up on that thing. So they're obviously happy with it, but it's not like showing up in the NPD every month like Spider-Man is. So get that on PC, give that more sales. People would absolutely buy it there.
Yep. Epic Open World says, since I can't reserve a Steam Deck, should I use that $5 for Arby's?
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, I think you can get, I think there's 2 sandwiches for $5 or something at Arby's right now. You can get some new chicken nuggets. I would suggest the honey mustard dipping sauce.
Yeah, there you go. Mike, did you check your email from Valve for the confirmation? Did they say when yours is going to get to you? Because Patrick Klepek's saying, managed to get one by completely closing the Steam app. And it says for Q1 2022, whatever that means. So I wonder if they're starting to say some of it, like, are they going to ship later or something like that? But maybe I'm just misreading.
Yeah, I don't know. I have a receipt here. I don't know if it says anything about when it is being shipped out. I see transaction date. Okay. I'm not seeing anything about when they're expecting to ship it.
I could be misunderstanding.
I wouldn't be shocked if I'm not in the first wave, since I pre-ordered mine at like 2 hours after they went up. So I don't know.
Epic Open World then says, oh no, this is the Arby's one. Yes, go spend your money at Arby's, please. And tell them Jeff Grubb and Mike Minotti sent you, the beef and cheddar boys.
I don't know exactly what you're talking about.
Jackson asks, the Steam Deck pre-orders are just reservations. We basically bought spots in line to pre-order before other people. They could technically do infinite reservations and just let you order order when more stock is available. Not everyone will get one in 2021, I think. This is what we were talking about. I mean, yeah, it's a reservation, not a pre-order. They specifically didn't call it a pre-order.
I'm still glad I have a reservation.
Oh, same. Yes.
Before I had nothing, so I'll take it. I'll take it.
Oh, okay. And Benji Bop with the answer to our question, or at least like adding more to it. And thank you everybody for the Steam Deck questions. A lot of people seem interested in this thing, Mike. I think it's going to be a success.
Okay, so there's this Q1 2020. Mine must be Q1 2022.
So yeah, this is what Benji Bop says. That. Hey, just wanted to update y'all. Reservations on the Steam page now show expected order availability Q1 or Q2 2022.
Q2. Ooh, I'd be upset if it was Q2.
Yep.
Okay. Well, I mean, I just kept refreshing my thing, so I don't know. Maybe I could complain to them about how I had it in my cart at this point.
Yeah, and honestly, it might be the kind of thing where they're just being overly cautious, and they might be able to get it to you a little bit sooner than what they're saying. But we'll see. Sosuke writes in and asks, does Microsoft look at Steam Pal as another thing to put Game Pass on, so people who want a mobile option but want to physically install the game have that option for on the go instead of relying on cell service? Right. Okay, I get what you're saying. I think Microsoft probably knew about this thing, and I think they are in talks to bring Game Pass to Steam proper. And so I think probably by December we'll hear about like plans for that sort of thing. So I'll look into it more, but I would not be surprised if that's like what's going to happen here. So they feel like, hey, we can get in on this thing. I still think Microsoft should have done their own handheld like this and just made it the Game Pass machine. And if you want to play even more powerful games, you can stream it from the cloud. Yeah,
I would be pretty shocked if at some point. I mean, some point Microsoft and Sony, but Microsoft seems even more likely is going to make one of these.
I think you're right. I just think that they might regret letting Valve get out in front of this because Valve seems very aggressive with the pricing again. Benji Bop with another one. More Steam Deck developing news. For the 512 gigabyte model specifically, there are 50,000 pre-orders for the US, 8,400 for the EU, and 7,000 for the UK. Seems to be the highest selling one so far. Man, are they just giving out numbers? That's incredible.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, well, thank you for that, Benji Bop. I appreciate that. Louis Pazzelli writes in, or he says, ha Friday. I think he means happy Friday, fellas. We are halfway through July and are still without a confirmed Horizon launch in 2021, and that's Horizon Forbidden West. At what point do we all just accept it's getting pushed to 2022? Mike, I still am holding out hope that it comes out this year. What do you think?
I'm not too worried yet. I think if we get to the end of August and we don't hear something, then I'll start getting a little concerned. But right now, I think we're fine. I didn't necessarily think we were going to hear something this month from them.
Yeah. Benji Bop says latest update. Okay, so North America's 512 gigabyte model has 55,000 pre-orders. The 256 gigabyte model has 28,000 in North America. In EU, that split is 9.6K versus 5K. And then the UK is just 7,000 for the 512 gigabyte model. Okay. So yeah, things is selling. Those are numbers that I expect them to be able to like ship most of those out this December. Like I would expect them to probably have like 1 million ready to go this holiday, and they could probably meet these numbers hopefully. So I guess that's just me hoping that I get mine in December. Okay, 2 more questions. Nick Turbo, what is better, Arby's or Mega Man?
Mega Man. Oh, wait. Yes, Mega Man. I like Mega Man a lot. Yeah. Now, Mega Man is obviously better if you're chewing down on a mozzarella steak.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
You got a nice cold extra large Coke Zero from Arby's next to you, but I do like Mega Man quite a lot.
Well, here's a good one. I probably should have read this earlier to give you time to think about it, but maybe you have something in mind. This is from Keywork. What is the Beef and Cheddar Boys' dream theme park land or attraction based on a gaming IP? Mine is already a reality in a sense via Blizzard World in Overwatch.
Yeah, that's pretty good, huh? Yeah, gosh, that is a good question. I think if they were able to do like a Grim Fandango thing based off of the second year there, when you're Rubikava, which is like that sort of moonlit, like casino dock area with like a Casablanca vibe to it. That would be something pretty cool. I don't know what the rides would be, but
right.
There's a giant cat racetrack there, so maybe you can ride on a giant cat somewhere. Or there's also a hot air balloon. There's things you could do there. I mean, I was thinking Mega Man. I don't really know what a Mega Man land would look like, so maybe that wouldn't be a fantastic option. Like, Mega Man has so many different levels. It's not like there's one super set aesthetic where you could just be like, this is Mega Man. Like, again, what would the Mega Man ride be? I guess you could be in the Rush Jet
Yeah.
That'd be pretty cool. But nah, that wouldn't be my first guess. I mean, Zelda would still be pretty cool, right? And
Of course.
I think it's coming. I think it's probably going to be in the Islands of Adventure Park that someday it's going to take over the kind of second half. So when they put the Harry Potter stuff in there, it took over a land called the Lost Continent. It took over most of that, but there's still a little bit of the old Lost Continent left. I think that part is eventually going to become a Zelda section.
I'm looking forward to that stuff. The Mario stuff that they've already done in Japan is kind of what my dream would be. I love Mario quite a lot, and so that stuff looks great to me. The restaurant looks great, but I think the cinematic intro for F-Zero GX on the GameCube, it has like a really cool sort of weird like Nintendo version of Blade Runner vibes, and I would like just a small themed area for like Mute City, like you're walking through the streets of F-Zero Land, and probably just like a bar, like maybe a more adult themed bar for F-Zero. Like I think that could be really cool. I don't know why, but I think I like the vibes that they had in that intro for that game. Mike, that does it for the Discord chats. Everybody, thank you so much for sending all those in. Like always, it really helps make the show great. Mike, do we have any more super chats?
Yeah, Sabbath is saying, I ordered mine, meeting a Steam Deck, in the first 5 minutes, 5.12 version, and it says Q1 2022 shipped. Doesn't mean it will arrive in December. So there's a lot of conflicting stuff here. I don't even see where mine says it's expected to ship.
Okay,
so
I didn't see it either on mine. So
I don't know. I'm still hopeful I'll be getting it this year, but if I have to wait a little bit, I will maybe be okay. Erodimus also said, since YouTube has made it easier for us to make clips of your videos, do you feel more pressure to make meme-worthy content? I am a meme. My life's a meme. All you guys got to do is clip any 10 seconds of my existence, and you will have success.
Yeah, what Mike said.
So
no more pressure. We're just gonna do the show we've always done. I think we've always had at least like 1 or 2 moments that make great clips, and it's nice just to have that feature built in now. So yeah, I expect to be like to go on Twitter like a few days later and see a clip come back at me and be like, man, I don't even remember saying that more often, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. Okay, Mike, this show's been going for quite some time. Should we just do a quick game section then get out of here?
Yes, let's do a quick one. I do have to go to the restroom, but if it's quick, I can hold it. I'll hold it for you.
You know what? It's super quick because I've just been playing like more Circle of the Moon, and I played Karnoff's Revenge, and I'm sure you don't want to talk about that.
Revenge, the fighting game.
The fighting game, yeah. I didn't know it existed, and then it was on my little handheld pocket thing because I searched for Karnoff, hoping to like they would be preloaded with Karnoff, and I'm like, Karnoff's Revenge, like this can't be the same thing, and it totally is just that Karnoff, like throwing a fighting game tournament, and it's got like he plays like Dalzim a little bit. Well, now he blows fire like Dalzim, and it was cool. It's like actually kind of interesting, like a pretty good game. Like I was surprised, but really I'm playing Circle of the Moon on this thing right now, and I think I'm planning to play through all of the Game Boy Advance Castlevania games, even though I know that collection's coming out, because I want to be able to like talk about that collection in depth when it's ready. So I'm like getting ready for that.
How's Circle of the Moon hold up? Because it seems like
so
people
good.
see. I really want to play that one almost specifically, probably because like of the unfair bullshit it got from when what's his face was like, it's not canon anymore. Like, well, okay,
yeah, it's unfair.
Means.
It's fantastic. It really is good. It has like the dash where you have to like double click the D-pad, and that might sound like tiresome, but it like keeps every moment feeling sort of engaging. Like, oh man, now I'm gonna sprint here, and instead of just like kind of running across the room, like you have to like, okay, no, I'm gonna sprint now, but I'm double dash. And
is that the one with the cards for like the abilities? Yeah,
the dual something system or whatever like that. Yeah, and you can like mix and match the cards to get different effects, and it works really well. I guess maybe I could see like that system is not super in depth at like some of the later systems, and I think maybe the boss fights are a little easy. I think that might be some of the things that people have complaints about, but I think the general complaints or the dismissal of the game is completely unfair. It is really solid, and I'm loving it.
I mean, all of these games can be easy. Symphony of the Night can be very easy once you have any idea what you're doing. So that's just, I mean, once you add RPG elements, especially, that you're going to have that issue. Hey, Zebanese sent a super chat and saying, or asking, did Valve liberate the form factor from Nintendo? I assume by liberate, he means kind of copied. I mean, sure, but also, like, you know, if you're going to make one of these things, of course, it's going to kind of look like that.
Yeah.
We could say they really stole the form factor from the Game Boy Advance, the original one. That's really what it's all going back to. Isn't it funny how we all kind of thought that was ugly, and now that's kind of like the standard again? Like putting the stuff to the side of a wider screen
instead of having the clamshell design to protect the screen. Yeah, it's weird that one went out, but I guess it's probably just more comfortable for more adults, I would imagine. Yeah, I think that Valve saw the Switch doing well, but also saw the price and efficiency of CPUs and GPUs coming down and being like, hey, if we don't do this, someone else is. And it is happening. That space is getting filled up from Chinese vendors. So, you know, it was just a matter of time before another company said, let's try to do this for real. And it's interesting that it is Valve. Okay, I think, let's wrap this thing up. That was a good, beefy episode. Thank you, everybody.
I got the code for the Mr. X Nightmare DLC for Street Fighter 4. Very excited to play. Bad name for DLC, not a very exciting, but very excited to try that DLC. I got so many Switch things I'm reviewing right now that and they're good, but I want to like get through them because I want to play Skyward Sword, I want to play Streets of Rage. So many things going on.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, is the new Streets of Rage content out? Is that what you're talking about?
It came out yesterday, I think. Yeah, you can download it now.
Okay. Yeah. Steph loves that game, so that's like a good reason to go back and play that.
As the buff police lady.
Oh,
I think she's my waifu. I think that's my waifu.
She's awesome. I would love for her to beat me up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, when I was playing the game, I was upset she wasn't playable, and now she is. So good.
Sorry, I'm creeping out the viewers. Mike, tell people where they can find you on the internet.
Do that. You can find me on Twitter at Tokoto, TOLKOTO. Check out 90s Disney, my 90s Disney podcast at 90sdisney.com, and check out Last of the Nintendogs, which has been doing so well, everybody. Thank you so much for those early listens and those early reviews. We've been charting surprisingly well. We were the #1 Nintendo podcast at a point. Please stop nodding like that, you weirdo. And I think you already stopped. I'm watching the live version, so there was a delay. You freak. Jeff, please say
starting again. That makes my eyes feel weird. Okay, I am on Twitter at Jeff Grubb. Join the Discord, discord.gg/GameS. Come hang out with us. We're talking there all the time. The Patreon, patreon.com/Jeff Grubb, and twitch.tv/Jeff Grubb. If you're listening to the audio version, it's a riot when we do these things live. Come hang out.
We had a lot of fun.
We had 500 people, more than 500 people, almost 600 people at one point come and watch the show.
Yeah, most of them had the right opinion about Hollow Knight, so they're okay.
I think democracy's broken, and we can address that in some other ways in the future. But yeah, thank you everybody for listening. Thanks for tuning in.
Or giveaway.
Oh yes, the Nintendogs giveaway. If you want to win a copy of Ori, I got him over here somewhere. I got both Ori games for the Switch.
Him. Physical copies.
All you gotta do, listen to Nintendogs for the details, but really rate Nintendogs wherever you listen to it. Send that picture of me of that rating on Twitter, and you'll be entered for a chance to win. We're at least gonna go through the next episode before I do that giveaway. So I'm gonna tell people one more time on Nintendogs on Tuesday, and then I'll probably I'll do like the drawing later that week or something like that. All right,
thanks everyone.
Let's get out of here. Bye.
Bye.